Hermine must. Well, what can I do for you? Your timing's
I smell a sinister plum.
the honey cut.
I do.
You'll just have to wait and I want to tag along.
All right.
I could help you out if I had some better gear.
Hey. Got something in mind? Done already?
We got a sale on. Need anything? Hello?
Hey. See you later.
Looking good stuff.
It is you, Hunter. Our mason cited an
I see.
Yes, some of those we feel.
Dizzy. Are you comfortable
To
leaving?
be honest, it would be a relief.
I see. Going off of Sato's agreed. But the complete lack of other... If there's any clue here, it's that... You're right. Might the Gypceros only be active in this... It's certainly possible. Understood. Please be careful when the time comes.
Let's report back once we're done.
Hello.
Mind if I hop on?
A potential target has appeared. Check your map when you're ready.
Understood.
I gathered some materials too. And check your field pouch.
Over here! Come on! On my way there!
There it is! It seems we were right about the Gypceros only appearing during the battle. Further study is needed in order to secure the area. Hunt authorized. Understood.
This ought to put a dent in it!
Let's see what you got. Hang in there.
Care for a ham?
Target sighted.
Whoa, easy, boy.
it up.
Well done. Now let's continue our investigation.
Make room for me too!
Our investigation confirmed that it was a monster we call Gypseros disrupting your miners' work. You mentioned stolen ore. These monsters often collect shiny objects for their nests.
I see. It seems that is a trait we share in common with these monsters.
That, and the fact that they only show up in the area during the fallow.
With so much in common, I begin to feel a strange sort of kinship. Tell me, is there some way to coexist in peace with these monsters?
The first thing would be not to attract their attention. Be careful of noise and shiny metal. They aren't hostile to us by nature. They should make decent neighbors, unless actively provoked.
Understood. This marks another valuable lesson we have learned from you. I will inform our masons. I thank you. Come back anytime. The people of this village will gladly assist where we are able.
And they have my thanks in advance. If anything else comes up, just let me know.
Hunter, you've come at the perfect time. Forgive my forwardness, but might you help with the monsters newly come to Wounded Hollow? There are no prior reports of the species there. The people of Suja are also worried for travelers' safety. But sadly, I am unable to leave my post here. I would be very grateful if you looked into it.
All right. I'll take care of it.
Thank you very much. Luckily, there have been no reports of harm or ill effects on the area as yet. I'm certain you will bring a swift resolution to the matter and ensure that stays the case.
Understood. Thanks.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you been informed that Miss Gemma has completed repairs on the fence? When facing multiple monsters, it can be used to divide and conquer, or to trap them all in one spot. However you choose to make use of it, I'm certain you'll find it a most helpful tool.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Thanks for the tip.
Of course. Then I shall leave you to it. Take care, and good hunting.
Wanna help out a bit?
Bar.
Here you go. Put it to good use. Anything you need?
I'll work on that right away.
heard from the others.
Catch the latest news here. I've got something for you. See ya. Yeah.
We may be able to get some
That's all I can give you right now. Tell me if there's anything you want. All right, I'll go round that up.
Hey!
Later.
Hey. Come by whenever you like.
Another time.
You will make with the listenings. The forest has changed. Different from before. Strong. Lot of pink fur, too. Grows strong and lush. Different from before. Its texture surely more silkiness. And so we make more dealings this day.
You're asking me to bring you more Congalala fur?
Your swiftly uptaking pleases me. The fluffy fur will please me more. Go!
Wanna help out a bit?
Oh dear. They must be telling us to follow them. Allow me. Greetings to you. Sorry that we got off on the wrong... You okay? My baby! Do whatever they say!
There it is.
No, don't! Wake it up!
whiskers are tingling. Weather's changing.
Also fired 800 workers on Thursday. For those still working in federal agencies, many tell us that they received yet another email demanding that they report their accomplishments. And now that 5-item list will be due every Monday via email. Tomorrow in Washington, D.C. at a special Legacy on Ice, top figure skaters will pay tribute to the victims of the January deadly mid-air collision. 67 people were killed when a black helicopter crashed into an American Airlines passenger jet outside Reagan National Airport. 28 members of the figure skating world were among those killed. Olympic and national skating champions will be taking part in what is being billed as a Legacy on Ice benefit. 2014 Olympic bronze winner Gracie Gold will be among them. Gracie's with us right now. So good to see you.
Is it bad to target his butt cheeks?
Thanks for having me. So how meaningful is this for you to be part of this benefit?
It really means a lot, and I think it's incredible. So many skaters ask Olympians, and future Olympians are all gathered here to be part of the show to pay tribute to the fallen athletes and coaches. It was a huge loss for our skating community.
And Gracie, you coached at the National Development Camp in Kansas, and many of the skaters who died in that plane crash actually attended that camp, is that right?
Yes, the last class of the day was mine, and honors class, and then Q&A. They did with me really last two things on that fateful day.
Oh my gosh, and it's such a special experience for a lot of the skaters to have been part of that. And then when you learned that this crash occurred and so many of those skaters that you had just interacted with were on that plane, I mean, what have you been going through?
Oh, Lola Barina.
I think what a lot of people in the skating community have been going through. I saw so many of them at the airports, and to know that there weren't that many flights out of Wichita left that day. I connected in Chicago, just a few gates down, was the one connecting, today, and to know that those skaters aren't there anymore. I spent most of, the time before.
Wow, she paralyzed the hell out of
an
him.
hour earlier, speaking with Spencer Lane's coach, just about the future he had in the sport and how far he's come. My last TikTok notification is that Spencer Lane followed me on TikTok, and so I haven't opened that app in a while. I used to live in Delaware, where Angela and Sean are from. Not a lot of people from that state, there's a lot of skaters, and the last thing that Angela, the young teenage dancer Sean, the last she drew on the last day, a picture of her best friend, Skate Ice Works, and me, she drew a picture of the three of us. And she just had such a wonderful time at the camp, and it was her role model, and so just to know that they're not here with us anymore is really difficult.
What an incredible connection you all have. I'm so sorry that you and so many have experienced this. So what is this going to be like for you when this benefit? What are you going to be thinking of? I mean, I'm sure the camaraderie and being together is going to be very healing and helpful, but what do you anticipate you might be experiencing?
I think that will probably be emotional. Skating is a very small-knit community, for better or worse, right? It has sometimes that small-town feel, which has good things about it, which in times of crisis, right? I think that we can come together, everyone knows everyone, and I think it will be really special tomorrow. I think, we've all come together and help support everyone during this tragedy. For anyone that's watching this, you can donate. There's a fund to help support everyone that you can donate to, right, to help support the families, just while they grieve, right, to help.
Monkey go run.
And it's airing on Peacock, and it's re-airing on NBC, March 30th. And yeah, you can help support our small community in any way that you can.
Yeah, and you are joined by so many legends in the skating community, from Peggy Fleming to Christy Yamaguchi, Brian Boitano. We just saw their pictures there. Well, Gracie Gold, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, this is such a tender moment for you and for so many of the more than 60 who died, and all of their family members on that Azid Air collision. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back.
Cooked books, corporate fat tanks, swindling socialites, doped-up cyclists, then you ask more crooked politicians. I have a feeling we won't be running out of those anytime soon.
A new season of United States Expansion with Jay Tackle, March 9th on CNN.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immunity, and ensure complete with 30 grams of protein.
Whether you're a professional driver or just a fan, vehicle breakdowns are costly. It started cutting.
It's really weird noises. The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
What's that transmission?
It's
an exhaust leak, broken axles.
But with endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
I had a seat sensor that went out, $1,400. Endurance paid it. You got a brand new transmission, and you never seen the repair bill. Use any certified mechanic you want. Just bring your car in, and Endurance will pay them direct. All major parts are covered.
What I like about Endurance, they don't play games, there's no middleman. They're a solid company.
If I didn't have Endurance, I would have paid over $7,000 out of pocket to repair my vehicle.
Something is going to break down. Make Endurance pay for it.
With Endurance, your car repair costs go way down, while your car's life expectancy goes way up, allowing you to drive more and pay less.
One claim alone
Saved me more than $4,000. I've had 5 claims, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
It's nearly
So,
done.
who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's less than 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan covers 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Call right now to get $300 off any plan, plus a full year of our top-tier elite benefits, a $2,000 value free. And all Endurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have to act now.
Call 1-855-237-0489. That's 1-855-237-0489.
Got one more, everyone. With USPS Ground Advantage, it's like you're with us every step of the way.
Right on tap.
Stay in the know. Your doctor is at their door.
Asthma. Does it have you missing out on what you love, with who you love? Get back to better breathing with Decemra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma taken once every 8 weeks. Decemra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Headache and sore throat may occur. Ask your doctor if Decemra is right for you.
It's in our very nature to seek the excitement of the unexpected and give us yearning to experience what lies beyond the ordinary.
It's time to win. Yamaha Resort and Casino in San Manuel is giving away a Reshark Meal Watch plus $15,000 cash in April. With 3 ways to secure a finalist spot, you could be the lucky winner of this luxury Swiss timepiece on April 9th. Details at Yamaha.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Up at Pentagon. And this is CNN. Alright, a new episode of Have I Got News for You with Rodriguez Jr. and team captains Amber Ruffin and Michael Ian Black airs tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. A guest this week will be U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett and actor and writer Dave Foley. Be sure to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific right here on CNN. All right, frightening moments captured on camera of 2 window washers dangling more than 70 stories above New York City. John Diaz of CNN affiliate WCBS has more.
Chaotic moments for 2 window washers Friday morning. Video shows them stuck on a scaffolding basket and dangling, going side to side, 78 stories in the air outside a building in Columbus Circle.
And it was also moving like that for almost about 15 minutes.
Muhammad Sharif says he watched the whole thing happen while inside his halal car at the corner of 58th Street and 8th Avenue.
And all the glasses fell down here on the sidewalk. even in the bottom of my car here.
FDNY officials say most of the danger started as they pulled up.
The scaffolding wasn't attached, it was swinging around, it smashed into the building. There was a high wind factor blowing into the building. There's glass pretty much raining all over the sidewalk.
They then quickly rushed up to make a daring rescue to discover the workers were wearing safety harnesses, but officials say they were not attached to any safety lines.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. In fact, they weren't tied off.
It's a guy, Mitzi.
They were then able to secure the scaffolding basket and bring the
You want to be the leader of the
to
pack?
safety, who were transported to a nearby hospital for evaluation. The FDNY chief saying this was a dangerous situation, not just for those workers and FDNY, but also the people inside the building. Pictures show at least 3 windows blown out inside the multi-use building. The action happening roughly as high as 3 football field span.
Honey! Ooh, this is good. I want honey.
Others have future plans.
I often think to myself, maybe I should look up God's.
Oh yeah, Plum Beach.
All right, yeah, close call, very scary. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Frederica Whitfield. The CNN Newsroom with Jessica Dean starts right now. Here in the CNN Newsroom, I'm Jessica Dean in New York. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky leaving a much friendlier meeting at 10 Downing Street today compared to the explosive one that happened in the White House on Friday afternoon. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer giving Zelensky a warm welcome in London. And after the visit, the UK announced it would speed up a $2.8 billion loan for Ukraine.
You're very, very welcome here in Downing Street. As you've heard,
Any high rank? Marcelia Cereals Abundance.
The Ukrainian president shoring up support from European leaders just 24 hours
Look at a Jarakan, that's my boy.
ended their White House meeting.
The monkey.
European leaders have been quick to rally around Ukraine.
Yeah, my phone died. I gotta charge it.
You are not alone. We stand with you. Ukraine's quest for peace and security is ours. CNN International diplomatic editor Nick Robertson is live in London with more on today's meeting. Nick, is President Zelensky saying anything more about yesterday's tensions?
It ended.
Look, I think now he's here in the UK and he'll be meeting with European leaders tomorrow. He's sort of moved beyond that in the public sphere. What's happening privately behind closed doors with the Prime Minister, we're not privy to that. The readout from the Prime Minister sort of boilerplate stuff, what he said before, reiterating the firm and strong and unwavering commitment for Ukraine for as long as it takes. Determined, the Prime Minister said he wants to find a path to the end Russia's illegal war, one that respects Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and one also that finds a just and lasting peace. So that's sort of boilerplate stuff from the Prime Minister. But look, I mean, I think the real message here for President Zelensky, and perhaps too to one that should, the Prime Minister intended to cross the Atlantic to the White House as well, that leaving the door of Downing Street, walking down the street, giving President Zelensky that big hug. This is not something Keir Starmer's prone to doing. He's not the kind of guy that comes around giving hugs very often. So this was Zelensky left a hug, a pat on the back. President Zelensky, for his part, thanking the British Prime Minister for all the support he's getting here.
And tomorrow Zelensky's going to be meeting with other European leaders at a summit there in London. I would assume he's going to try to accomplish a similar backing as we saw from Keir Starmer today.
You know, he's going to be looking for the immediacy of what he needs to make sure that Ukraine continues to get and builds up on the security support and the economic support that it needs literally day by day to withstand these massive barrages of missiles and drones. To figure out how Europeans can give him the security guarantees that he's looking for, because as he has said, you know, it's not enough to have a ceasefire. He said Ukrainians are worried that they need to have security guarantees going forward. They need to know that it's not that ceasefire isn't going to be torn down and ripped up by President.
Oh, you haven't seen the normal Rathalos before. You're a
Putin's track
newbie.
record in the region and in Ukraine. So that's what Zelensky will be looking for. And I think he'll have he will be having another meeting tomorrow. And I think that's going to be an important one. It's symbolic, perhaps, to not just for President Zelensky, but for President Trump as well. When Keir Starmer was in the White House, he handed a letter to President Trump inviting the president to a second and unprecedented state visit with King Charles. President Zelensky will have a meeting at one of King Charles's country residence, Sandringham, tomorrow. That's not usual that the king would necessarily meet at sort of relatively short notice a leader like President Zelensky. Again, this is all, it seems, part of
going in. He's about to die hard.
strength of support.
Anything online is so much faster.
On the street, not just political from the Prime Minister, but from the monarch as well for Ukrainians and President Zelensky, and perhaps eases the conscience a bit for the Prime Minister and the King, because the Prime Minister was criticised for what many saw here as a sort of fawning offer to get support with President Trump by offering, this meeting with the King, and this would perhaps ameliorate some of those criticisms with President Zelensky.
Nick Robertson in London for us. Thank you so much for that reporting. I want to go now to CNN's Matthew Chance in Moscow for how Russia is reacting to this moment. Matthew?
Well, the Kremlin's been tight-lipped about the spectacle that unfolded in the Oval Office, but reactions from other Russian officials are essentially supportive of Trump and his vice president. President Zelensky alone was disrespectful. The Russian foreign ministry spokeswoman said she was surprised that Trump and Vance didn't slap him. The senior Russian official said it was brilliant that Zelensky was kicked out of the White House, and a key Russian envoy called the spat historic. I believe the very public fallout between the US.
This is the real Rathalos. He's red.
In US relations with its allies and with Russia. The big question now is how this episode may affect talks between US and Russian officials aimed at rebuilding the relationship between the two countries. Will it hold them back, or maybe even bring them forward? A much touted summit between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. Matthew Chance, CNN Moscow.
All right, Matthew, thank you. Joining us now, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who fired by President Trump in his first term as the top Ukraine expert of the National Security Council. Vindman was also a key witness in President Trump's first impeachment trial, and is the author of the newly released book, The Folly of Realism: How the West Deceived Itself About Russia and Betrayed Ukraine. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. I first just want to get your thoughts on that meeting between Zelensky and the British Prime Minister that we saw today, and what that might mean as Rick Robertson was laying out for his relationship with Europe while the American relationship settles and we see what happens there. He's really trying to strengthen ties there in Europe.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to the conversation. I should clarify, I was fired from the White House because I testified. Right. Kind of similar to the hostile reception that Zelensky got when he challenged Trump, or rather, stand his ground. That's all he did is stand his ground and point out that Trump can't trust Putin, and that Trump is being fooled into believing that Putin is offering a lasting peace. Now, what we saw today was a direct reaction to what happened yesterday. This really rejection of not just Ukraine, but European security that was on display over the course of the past week. The UN Security Council resolution in which the U.S. voted with Russia, voted with North Korea, and then voted actually abstained from its own resolution because there was an effort to define it's in their own backyard. The Brits have been, they were also our allies during the Cold War. They understand what the threat of the Russian Empire and Russian resurgence means. They understand that Russia's aspirations don't end with regards to just Ukraine or Belarus. It's looking to rebuild that Russian Empire and the Soviet Union. So what they're doing is they're sending a strong message. And that's only going to go, yesterday was a clear break that the U.S. is going to do there. That's only going to be clearer as the Europeans continue to embrace Ukraine, demonstrate ironclad support for Ukraine, because Russia needs to be warned off, because Ukraine needs to exit this war with security guarantees, long-term peace, and with its territorial integrity intact. All this is now unfolding as a result of a complete 180-degree change in U.S. policy, a rejection of our allies and an embrace of our enemies.
A policy that is decades old. It really is, like since post-World War II, breaking like this is that different from where we've been in the last several decades. In a statement released yesterday, you called President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, quote, impulsive toddlers, risking the shared security and Western values of freedom and democracy. You just mentioned this a little bit, but talk to me a little bit more about your concerns of how the Kremlin views what happened yesterday and what is unfolding, and how this might not only be unfolding the Kremlin, but Vladimir Putin himself.
Yeah, I guess I wrote a book on this, and it came out the day after the 3rd anniversary, talking about how the Kremlin has continuously played the U.S. and no more so than it's doing now in the most extreme manner with the Trump administration. The Trump administration that has 4 years of experience of trying to manage Russia when it was already engaged in war with Ukraine. This war started in 2014, and the Trump administration wasn't able to achieve a breakthrough back then. Now they're leaning in further. They're compromising further. They're accommodating further.
We'll get engine, that's better.
To the instability and the hostilities in the region, or frankly, in a more nefarious manner, they don't care about European security. They don't care about Ukraine. They're more interested in normalizing relationships with Russia, because this is the image that Trump has cast, that he can make peace with Russia, and he's willing to mortgage away Ukraine for it. So the Russians are, they can't be anything but completely drunk on a continuous basis, popping champagne bottles after every gaffe, after every mistake. These maximum mistakes that we're committing now after 30 years of, at times imperfect policy. It has been a continuous threat of the U.S. favoring Russia, putting Russia first, succumbing to Russian fears that the relationship could evolve and become hostile, or hopes that we could accomplish more with Russia, this deal that we could have for economic benefits with Russia. The Russians have been doing this effectively for a long time, but now more than ever, we're repeating those mistakes without any understanding of the past and how it's going to blow up in our face. Zelensky pointed that out yesterday. It's going to come and bite us in the behind, and he was pointing that out. And that's what really got Trump going. That Trump is trying to cast this image of America great, America having these strong relationships, and Zelensky bursting the bubble, offering a sanity check, really is what got Trump going yesterday.
And you mentioned that was a familiar scene to you, being punished essentially for telling the truth. Did that surprise you yesterday when that blew up that way?
It was visceral for me. I kind of had almost like a deja vu moment. Putting myself in the shoes of those folks, the professionals that are still sitting in the White House, knowing that they were going into this meeting with a huge sense of foreboding, maybe a tiny bit of misplaced optimism that somehow this deal could be signed, that the U.S. would stay on side, supporting our allies and not siding with our enemies, and then watching everything just completely blow up in the policymakers' faces. You can see it on Marco Rubio's face. He's not going to say this publicly. He's not going to criticize. He fell in line. Same thing with Walsh. He'll fall in line, fawning over Trump, and Vance being the biggest culprit to throwing grenades in that meeting. But behind the scenes, they know what damage was done. Behind the scenes, they know how catastrophic that was for U.S. moral leadership around the world, our relationships, our predictability, stability, repeating the 30-plus years of mistakes to the maximum extent. The subtitle of my book is How the U.S. or How the West Deceives Itself About Russia and Betrays Ukraine. It was manifest and apparent yesterday in a huge way.
Why do you think President Trump and his administration is behaving this way? Why do you think President Trump wants to normalize Russia and prioritize that over defending an ally, a Western democracy?
There's a kind of a school of thought that Vladimir Putin has been promoting. It's dirigiveness, sovereignty.
and that really only the great powers hold sovereignty. He claims that Russia holds sovereignty, China holds sovereignty, and the U.S. holds sovereignty. It turns out that Trump feels the same way. Everybody else is irrelevant. Everybody else is a plaything to be manipulated, to be coerced. Those are the only stakes that matter in the system. It is a brutish jungle out there in this foreign policy school because the strong prey on the weak and the weak suffer what they must. It is really disastrous to return to some seemingly far gone era before World War II, maybe even 19th century type foreign policy where the world is far, far more dangerous. And we are completely, not only are we not predictable, we may become the adversary and our allies may have to balance against us. Now they're going to consolidate support for Ukraine, but they're also going to take up their own security architecture. That's going to take some time. They need to figure out what this means, how they build a NATO minus the U.S. going forward, invest in their own defense, but also hedge against the fact that the U.S. isn't just absent, it could potentially be hostile.
And so what does come next? How do they begin to put those pieces together? And what does it mean for the United States and its role in the world and the traditional alignment of powers that is being realigned before our very eyes?
So I think you see the outlines of that already. You see the massive consolidated response of all of the European nations, democratic nations, in support of Ukraine immediately after this, abject, humiliating display by Vance and Trump, trying to be both bullies, but also seemingly somehow masquerading looking weak. So you could see the outlines in response, but there's also been kind of an undercurrent where the French, President Macron, Starmer, the likely incoming Chancellor of Germany, Merz, are now starting to think about putting together a European architecture and starting to invest, drawing up plans on how the Europeans are not going to just support Ukraine, but defend themselves and warn off Russia going forward and meet all these enormous challenges that the 21st century is dishing up for the world and for democracies. But the U.S. is at best going to be on the sidelines, maybe even an adversary. We've shown ourselves that we're potentially going to be an adversary by trying to spoil elections in Germany, siding with the far-right fascist party. I think that there's a chance that we might read the tea leaves and see this consolidated response and decide that we don't want to be the outlier, we don't want to be with our traditional enemies. But I don't know if I have that much hope. We might have to weather the storm for a couple of years, see what U.S. politics brings to bear in the midterm elections, and then we could see if there's a reformat in this approach that's very, very dangerous.
It is a stark potential reality. Alexander Vindman, thank you so much. Again, just a reminder about his new book, The Folly of Realism, How the West Deceived Itself About Russia and Betrayed Ukraine. Very timely, and it is out right now. Thanks again to Alexander Vindman for joining us. And new details about the death of Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife at their home in New Mexico. We'll talk more about just how long they were dead before their bodies were found. You're in the Cine Newsroom.
What I got news for you is back. Let's think of some new games to play. What do you got?
Yes, something like,
what is it? Keep playing the same game?
Well, I got news for you tonight at 9 on CNN.
Tap into Etsy for original and affordable home and style pieces like lighting on your For $100, put your best foot forward with jackets. Or pick up custom shelving for $150 to make space without emptying your pockets. And get cozy with linen robes for $75 or less. For affordable home and style finds to help you welcome whatever's next. Etsy has it.
Hi, I'm Tony Hawk, and like many of you, I take a statin to reduce cholesterol. But statins can also deplete CoQ10 levels. That's why my doctor recommended Qunol CoQ10. Qunol has the #1 cardiologist recommended form of CoQ10. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Okay, Noah's going to make the fire. Our job is to let him do it by himself. Kind of what you got there, Craig?
It's important to challenge young homeowners turning into their parents.
Oh, not a great start. Get a turn.
You gotta turn it. Doesn't look structurally sound here.
Dog? They can't help themselves.
A fire starter?
Okay. You know, cavemen, they built fires with nothing but their wits and their bare hands.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Yeah, watch it.
COPD is an ugly reality. I watch as this world just keeps getting smaller. But then, Trilogy helped us see things a little differently. With 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trilogy keeps airways open for a full 24 hours and prevents future flare-ups. Once daily Trilogy also improves lung function, so he can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trilogy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trilogy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful all day and night.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you. At Capella University, you'll learn the advanced skills you need to face the nursing challenges of today and tomorrow.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. You might not know performance and durability go along with it. We test, and then we test again. Now it's time to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for us at Harbor Freight.
Still have moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease symptoms after taking a medication like Humira or Remicade? Put them in check with Rinvoq, a once daily pill.
When symptoms start to take control, I got rapid relief with Rinvoq. Check.
When flares try to slow me down, I've got lasting remission with Rinvoq. Check. And many were in remission, even at nearly 2 years.
And Rinvoq helped visibly reduce damage of the intestinal lining. Check.
Rapid symptom relief, lasting remission.
And visibly reduced damage. Check.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin. Serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occur. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take an allergic or have an infection.
Put UC Crohn's in check and keep them there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq.
I'm aches. I can't keep you up at night because we're aches and pains. You think you're sore in the morning because of your age?
You don't hurt because you're old. You hurt because your mattress is gay. Which makes our job a lot easier.
Pearl's proven to do rise refreshed, which is awful.
For us, it's very good news for you.
Do not go with Purple.com.
Do not visit a purple store.
United States of Scandal with Jay Tapper returns Sunday. More child films CNN. We're learning more about the serious deaths of iconic Hollywood actor Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy, and their dog, all discovered in their Santa Fe home Wednesday. Police say the data from Hackman's pacemaker shows he was deceased 9 days before being found, and the body did show signs of mummification. They say they do not have a cause of death. They don't suspect foul play as they await the toxicology report. CNN's Julia Vargas-Jones is joining us live from Santa Fe. And Julia, we start with this mummification. It begins 2 weeks or more after death. What are officials saying about it? Well, they are saying that they still don't have a timeline for this death. But that is the biggest challenge in this investigation. You know, the sheriff here, Adrian Mendoza, he said usually you start from the last time that something was seen and make your way up to the time of death. In this case, they're actually building this timeline backwards, starting from the moment of death, because this was a couple that was very private, that lived in a secluded home. There's very little video evidence. What they are counting on is a toxicology report and that full autopsy to get a better sense. So far, as you mentioned, the pacemaker giving us a little bit of a sense that Gene Hackman might have been dead for 9 days before he was found. We also note no signs of foul play and no trauma external to either of their bodies. And that's notable also because in this preliminary autopsy, it has been determined that carbon monoxide poisoning is not at play here either. In a report that we got on Friday, we did hear a little bit more of what happened inside that house. There were pills that were recovered, one of them for for thyroid condition, and some for blood pressure, Tylenol, some other medical records recovered as well, Jessica. But this investigation, what we've been pointed to is just, they could be at least 3 to 6 weeks until we get the full toxicology report, and that is where investigators are hoping more answers will come. Especially when it comes to the timing of the death of Miss Arakawa. They were in separate parts of the house. It feels like a little game of Clue here as investigators are putting all of this together. So many questions still up in the air as they move forward in their investigation. All right, Julia Vargas-Jones there in Santa Fe with the latest. Thank you so much. And let's talk more about this with medical examiner, forensic pathologist, and former detective, Dr. Michelle Dupree. Dr. Dupree, thanks for being here with us. I want to start first with what Julia was just talking about, that Hackman was likely dead 9 days before being found. His wife's body showing signs of mummification as well. What are you gleaning from these details we're getting?
Well, it actually does fit with the story. It seemed like at least he and probably she, were both dead for at least that amount of time because of that mummification. And we find out the bodies have been there or dead for some time in a dry climate.
And you know, 3 different medications were taken from the home: a thyroid medication, blood pressure medication, and Tylenol. The investigators were trying clearly to piece together what was there, what could have happened, what might they be able to figure out from those medications. Will they be checking against them in the toxicology report?
Absolutely. I think toxicology is going to be key in this case. We do know that Gene Hackman had some heart issues and perhaps high blood pressure as well. We don't know too much about her medical history. But the fact that the pills were found there, they were probably a prescription for her. She may have also had some issues like that. So toxicology is going to play a key role in this.
And about how long will that take? I mean, I think at this point we're thinking weeks, but these types of things can take a while to resolve. And do you think it's possible? Is it possible we don't get any answers to all these questions?
I think we'll get some answers. I feel pretty confident about that. But yes, toxicology can take a long time. Often, depending on the lab, the jurisdiction that it's in, the lab is often backed up. It could take not just weeks, but maybe months. But perhaps in cases like this, they will try to speed that up a bit since it is such a high-profile case. So hopefully we'll find out answers soon.
And what would you be focusing on at this point? What are the key things you think they should be zeroing in on?
Well, I would look at, we have something saying in law enforcement that we want to look at the totality of circumstances. We don't really want to just focus in on one thing and get tunnel vision, because then we may miss something else. So we need to take a careful look at the crime scene, which I'm sure has already been done. We also need to talk to witnesses, to other neighbors and people who have seen them, which has also probably been done. Now I think they're focusing on some of the electronic information they may be able to get from their phones, perhaps even from their computers. Those may also be important. But we also want to take a look at that autopsy report, the physical condition of the body, and even though there was no trauma, we want to make sure that there was no natural disease process as well once we do that autopsy, and then go from there.
Just a lot of things to cover there, and we will wait to learn more. Dr. Michelle Dupree, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The politics of a foreign policy fiasco caught on camera for the world to see. Here on the CNN Newsroom.
Amid upheaval and sweeping changes,
The President of the United States.
Trump heads to Capitol Hill to share what's next. Follow CNN for complete coverage and in-depth analysis. The presidential address to Congress, Tuesday at 8 on CNN.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams protein.
I'm gonna be okay.
And a protein blend to feed muscles up to 7 hours.
Still searching for the one? Olay Super Cream with SPF. The power of 5 in one super cream. To hydrate, smooth, brighten, firm, and protect. Skin just drinks it in. It cleans cells for more resilient skin. It's super cream. Only Olay.
My little miracle is Beckett.
I am dying every day waiting for you.
We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated.
My hair was thinning all around my hairline.
My dermatologist recommended Nutrafol. It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
My hair is longer, thicker.
Nutrafol is life-changing for me.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com.
When I started Walden Goggins Goggle Glasses, I didn't know how to turn all this fancy prettiness into a classy-looking logo. But GoDaddy Arrow does with its magical layout powers. It not only creates it, it slaps that sweet thing everywhere.
I take you, body, in sickness and in health, for as long as we shall live. If you have generalized myasthenia gravis, picture what life could look like with Vyvgart Hytrulo, a subcutaneous injection that takes about 30 to 90 seconds. For one thing, could it mean more time for you? Vyvgart Hytrulo can improve daily abilities and reduce muscle weakness with a treatment plan that's personalized to you. Do not use Vyvgart Hytrulo if you have a serious allergy to any of its ingredients. It can cause serious allergic reactions like trouble breathing and decrease in blood pressure leading to fainting and allergic reactions such as rashes, swelling under the skin, shortness of breath, and hives. The most common side effects are respiratory and urinary tract infections, headache, and injection site reactions. It may increase the risk of infusion-related reactions and infection. Tell your doctor if you have a history of infections or symptoms of an infection. Talk to your neurologist about Vyvgart Hytrulo for GMG and picture your life in motion.
Want to lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year? Try Rove's Insurance Checker to see if you're covered for GLP-1s for free. Just submit your insurance card and we'll take care of the rest. Go to rove.co/insurance for your free insurance check.
Looking to refresh the style in your home? Here at Mathis Home, we can help you. We have all the latest looks that will leave your home feeling brand new. Whatever your style, we know that we can help you find it at the lowest price. Because not only do we want you to feel good in your home, we know that to earn your business, our prices have to be the best. Mathis Home.
This spring, experience for games like Top Gun, a human crane that takes fun to new heights, and it's delicious.
Twitter, breaking the word, premieres March 9th on CNN.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio defended President Trump last night on CNN after Friday's explosive White House meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
And he's the only one in the world that has any chance. If Donald Trump tomorrow decides, I don't care about Ukraine, I don't care about Russia, and I don't care about this war, and he walks away, I ask you, I ask everyone, whatsoever, even a 1% chance of getting the combatants to the table? The answer is there is no one. He is the only one. Peace is the only one that has a chance to deliver on it.
Molly Bottle, senior political... which was interesting to see. A handful of Republicans did have something else to say. Republican Senator John Curtis from Utah saying diplomacy and statesmanship seem to have been checked at the door of the Oval Office today. Congressman Mike Lawler from New York calling the meeting a disaster. For the most part, Molly, that was the exception, not the rule.
Well, as you said, there have been a few Republicans publicly for the president and vice president's approach, but most
Thank you for coming. I'll go and gather the others. Wait here, just...
So, Olivia, you found evidence of a phenomenon here too?
I thought this would be of interest.
Does believe that he made a bit of a mistake there to sort of clean up his remarks. He also thinks that the full story hasn't been told. And there's two very specific dates to sort of understand the broader picture that Trump views the Ukraine conflict in. In 2008, NATO and European allies extended a sort of tentative offer to Ukraine to become a NATO member. And this was something that blindsided Putin and drove him crazy and stoked his paranoia. In 2014, President Yanukovych wound up fleeing Ukraine for Moscow. And that was after large-scale protests, and Putin suspected the United States was behind it. Now, there's no real evidence to show that, but that's what he suspects. And the Obama government, State Department official Victoria Nuland was caught on a phone call where she was sort of showing that the United States was more involved in discussing the politics of Ukraine at the time. And Putin used this as a pretext for his first invasion in 2014. And so in Donald Trump's mind, this sort of broader potential, or better said, shared culpability isn't discussed enough, and therefore he thinks that Europe and transatlanticism, and this is to Molly's point, with the American first point of view, has essentially failed. And that's why Europe is not at the table. That's why NATO is not at the table. And that's why Donald Trump is charting his own path. Now, it is also very true that Trump views Russia in a much more favorable light than U.S. policy has for decades, or U.S. policymakers have for decades, and he does want to reorient more of U.S. policy more toward Moscow than it has been in the past.
And as Mark lays all that out, Molly, this is just all a shock to the political system. How is it responding, in your view?
I think most people are still in shock. I think this applies to so many of the things that Trump has done at the beginning of this new administration. He has gone full throttle in the direction that he promised to do. He has ended the transatlantic alliance, if not left it in tatters. But this is also the way he's approaching the federal government. This is also the way he's approaching many other sort of systems and institutions that he essentially believes he has a mandate to destroy or weaken or at least significantly change. So I think, it is certainly the case that Washington is reeling and Europe is reeling and NATO is reeling. But what you hear from the Trump camp and his allies is, well, what did they expect? Did they think he wasn't going to do the things that he said, the things that he promised? He promises a lot of things. He says a lot of things. He hasn't done everything, and he couldn't do everything
that he said he was going to do because some of the things he's promised conflict with each other. That being said, this is all, as Mark has been saying, quite
trying to get our cat some drip.
With the sympathies that he's shown for years.
Like Guardian Barina?
Administration.
Guardian cases.
And this idea that the United States would have a friendlier relationship with Russia, for example, is certainly nothing new if you were here for when Trump was president before.
Yeah. And Mark, it also just it's the uncertainty of it all, right? As Molly's talking there,
they knew too much.
Way through, but it is the uncertainty of it all, and that is obviously something that President Trump and his administration pride themselves on, in the fact that no one knows what they're going to do. They think that's a real advantage in terms of negotiating and getting what they want. But how are you seeing that uncertainty play out, again, kind of more broadly
so it's not a Guardian Barina.
across the political system in the U.S. and beyond?
A super Barina.
It is sort of Trump's superpower. But while we can talk, and rightly so, about Donald Trump's chaotic nature and the uncertainty that surrounds him in his decision-making process, there are certain truisms of Donald Trump. One of them is that Donald Trump perceives the world and politics as a giant series of deals and leverage, and in the terms he used yesterday, the cards that someone holds are what matters. He sees these as competitions between big players, big personalities. And in his view, which is something that Zelensky might not have...
Guardian Jesse Barina?
And I'm not saying this right. Zelensky doesn't really matter that much. In Donald Trump's view,
what if the conclusions was Barinas?
He, the president of China, matters, and Zelensky doesn't. And so, in this paradigm, he wanted Vladimir
Oh, he's so infatuated,
to
madame.
show up at the White House in a suit, or at least a jacket if you did. And he wants him to show obeisance and fealty and approach him in a way where he is a supplicant begging for help and is flattering him. Trump is prone to want to be flattered, and he is put to anger. And Zelensky didn't do that. What I am saying is that the way in which Zelensky approached this, knowing Donald Trump's personality and the uncertainties that surround him, but a certain personality quirks he has, is sort of a mystery.
Yeah. All right, Molly Wall and Mark Caprio, our thanks to both of you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Some good news when it comes to the health of Pope Francis, just one day after he suffered a sudden episode of breathing difficulty.
I pissed it off.
Tomorrow morning, the contentious Oval Office meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky.
Eric is crazy.
So we takes a closer look at the stakes for Ukraine. Tariq Zakaria, GPS, tomorrow morning at 10.
No, it's a super. It's a species. Crazy. Crazy.
If you're living with dry AMD, you may be at risk of developing geographic or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something...
It's a battle-hardened Lalabarina versus a vulgar Angina. But it's a Guardian. Whoa.
If you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye, Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. They may temporarily increase eye pressure.
Well, you don't want this. Come on, Barina.
Has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression, which may help preserve vision longer.
Nigga, what?
So shift gears and get going. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay.
New to the big city?
Yeah. Good call to bring you.
Alright.
We're gonna fight each other.
Apparently progressive electronic...
Man, fudge it, let's go.
...with their auto policy, 24/7 protection for all of my clients.
Not that you protect all my stuff, but could you tone down the creepiness? Sorry.
I do anything for you, Emily.
Still creepy.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster?
I trust you, Olivia.
They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis, but sparks dissolve under the tongue. Dissolvable work faster than most pills. Plus, tadalafil, the active ingredient in Cialis, keeps in your system for long-lasting results. Faster acting and
Or what?
we got you. See if sparks are right for you at go.co/sparks.
Well, saving money? Well, it's time to join.
I missed again.
$11 per year with a 5-year term.
I missed again.
And get a second membership free.
That's a great deal.
You'll have access
Alright, time to fight for reals.
help you save money, stay healthy, and have fun. Plus everyday discounts at top retailers, dining, and more. Just $11 per year with a 5-year term during this special offer. Then get a second membership and an insulated book organizer for free.
It's like the world is ending.
Join AARP.org now.
Whoa. Crazy.
That grimy film on your teeth.
Dr. G.
That's like Jurassic Park, but worse.
Actually, to build up a fat bacteria, which we call cavities. Most toothpaste could work in a minute, but Costco helps antibacterial flora and protects all day.
Subcategory before this study.
Correct.
CNN presents HBO's Real Time with the Laws and Everything on CNN.
Tonight, update on Coach Francis, Vatican sources tell CNN the Pope is blessed.
Ooh.
Saying the episode of respiratory difficulty, saying his medical condition remains complex, and he's still not out of danger. Meanwhile, the faithful gather to pray for his recovery. Pope Francis has been in the hospital now for 2 weeks, of course sparking concerns about the 88-year-old's health. CNN's Christopher Lamb has been closely monitoring this story from Vatican City. What else can you tell us about how the Pope is doing tonight?
Well, Jessica, there was a positive update on the Pope's health from the Vatican on Saturday. They said that the Pope remained stable, that he's not showing signs of fever, that there were no more respiratory crises today, on Saturday. Now, of course, on Friday, by the Vatican, the Pope had this bronchial spasm that had led to an advanced oxygen therapy for Francis. Today, things are calmer. Vatican sources saying that
Azira's KO'd, Azira's KO'd.
He had 20 minutes in the chapel, that he's in good spirits. So all these positive signs and developments. However, the Pope is still on high flow oxygen, alternating between that and oxygen through a mask, which is connected up to a machine. So the prognosis for the Pope remains guarded, we're told, by Vatican. That means it's still too soon to tell. So there is still a lot of concern.
Bad argument, bad.
He's 88 years old, he has pneumonia in both lungs, he's been in the hospital now for 16 days. He won't be leading the Angelus prayer on Sunday, tomorrow, for the third Sunday in a row. Another sign of just how serious this health situation is. In the Vatican there is concern and worry, and people have been gathering each night to pray for the Pope in St. Peter's Square or in the Basilica. Tonight they were in the Basilica to pray for the Pope.
Olivia got the banana.
Up at the hospital.
All the Garen's behind us.
In Rome to pray for Francis for his recovery.
Where'd they go?
So it's a fast evolving situation that we're following closely. We're hoping for another update from the Vatican on Sunday. Jessica.
All right, Christopher Lamb, we will wait back. Thank you very much for that reporting. Some federal workers will once again use the layout what they accomplished this week.
tell us about accepting bribes.
The stuff he did that was completely illegal destroys office.
I'm still not sure that you're repentant.
I have nothing to hide. If he had visited, he would have gotten away with it.
They would abuse her on television.
There's this unholy combination of overwhelming greed and money.
It's not a bribe, it's trading favors.
A new season of United States Experiment with Jay Tucker, matching NCAA. Can a personal loan unlock your ambitions? Oh yeah. Consolidate on that and save money for your next home. Take a swim at your kitchen rent.
Oh, I forgot there's a double bite.
Actual dream money. All your ambitions, all
Mitzi, don't do it.
So buy personal loans, low fixed rates, borrow up to 100K, no fees.
Don't be the target, Mitzi.
Go to SoFi.com to view your rates. SoFi, get your money right.
At The Real Deal, we authenticate everything. Check the date code, examine the stitching, clue, the leather, and brand stamp. We even smell it, so you know.
There's a wound. Get him.
Every day, which means you can shop all day, all day. From Bright, get up to 90% off Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Cartier, Rolex, and more. The Real Deal. Authenticate luxury retail. Shop now with code TRR20 for 20% off. Terms apply. Okay, so good question. Oh, 1 second. I gotta finish my laundry. Sure. 1 second. I use this. Which one? The company that will pick up, wash, fold, and deliver your.
I'm just trying to get greedy.
I don't know.
Let the greed happen.
I've been using it for months now. There's no issue. Okay, let's go. Wait, I'm gonna do
Oh, the content, you haven't seen it yet. Oh, yeah.
I'll schedule. Sign up for rent.
Wow.
$20 off your first order.
That's amazing.
We mentioned we didn't know what we're doing. When in fact, we do not. I had no idea what this was.
I've never driven a stick in my life. But my heart is full, yeah!
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh no, they're both on me.
Logo, website, and social content.
Oh, it's secret, get out! Secret, no!
We still got the arrow. It's like you know what you're doing.
In the neighborhood, every delivery is a treat.
One statue of Lincoln Center.
One strawberry food, please. Oh!
That was amazing. Yo, Mooch, what'd you think?
My waiver.
Bro, that was cool, right?
Of course, it's a
Yo, Mike. Mikey.
Double. Lucky.
Play fair, every style, every home.
Take advantage of everything AARP has to offer right now. Join AARP for $11 per year with a 5-year term, and your second membership is free. Get access to discounts on everyday purchases, eye care and prescriptions, and programs, tools, and tips to help manage your money and maximize your health. Plus, AARP fights to protect your Social Security, Medicare, and more. Join and get an insulated trunk organizer free, plus AARP.
It's trying to heal.
Or go to join AARP.org now. It's a little too loud, and you're just trying to get through it. There's a space you can go for support. Anytime, anywhere. It's called Selena, a mental health app for 13 to 25-year-olds. That's completely free and anonymous, where you'll find tools for dealing with tough emotions and can talk one-on-one with real mental health professionals about whatever's happening in the real world. All for free. You know, like real free. Each step, bounce back, and believe that you can with Selena.
Absolute damage. How many times have I told you? Jägermeister, I saw it. Jägermeister, damn, let's go.
Oh no. The end of my life. Greed.
I'm Elizabeth Wagner, in Los Angeles, in this.
Tonight, the State Department is telling employees it will reply on their behalf to the Office of Personnel Management. This after a second email went out last night telling federal employees to report what they did at work over the past week. This email carries the title, quote, "What did you do last week, part 2?" and inform those federal workers that documenting their work will now be a complete requirement. According to a union representative, the emails went out to workers in multiple agencies. Senior correspondent Arlette Sines is joining us now. Arlette, what more can you tell us about what we're looking at?
Let's get greedy.
Well, Jeff, it's round 2 for these federal workers who received this email asking them to detail a list of their accomplishments.
Greed
from
mode.
the past
Activate.
week.
Super greed. I missed.
After around this time last Saturday,
Kind of evolved
sent that
into
email, which surprised
greed mod.
many federal workers.
Yeah. Reviling him.
Now there is a similar.
He's a wily one. He's a wily one.
Friday night. We know several agencies where employees started to receive this email. They include places like the CDC, the Veterans Affairs Department, as well as the Department of Education. And these workers are being asked to list in bullet point form 5 accomplishments that they had from the previous week. And
not just down to this day.
Now, it's a little bit different about this email compared to
Greed one. Evacuate.
It does say that this will be required each week, and the responses will be due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Monday. But it does come as there's a lot of questions from these federal workers about whether they do need to respond. They haven't laid out what any repercussions might be if people do not respond to this email, and there's different agencies giving out different instructions. For instance, I'm told that the State Department
let's go.
employees there did receive this email last night, but then this morning, leadership at the State Department sent a follow-up email to their staff saying that they didn't need to respond, that the department leaders would be responding on behalf of the workforce and their employees until, quote, this is otherwise rescinded. Now, the State Department was one of those agencies who just last week had told their employees not to respond. Another agency was the Pentagon. But actually, yesterday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sent a memo that said that all civilian employees going forward will need to respond to this email. So there's still a lot of uncertainty about how this environment will be handled at a time when the federal workforce has really seen dramatic cuts from the Trump administration and efforts from the Trump administration to redo a lot of what the federal government's doing.
Yeah, a lot of questions about this. Science, thank you so much for that.
We're on Brandon.
Zelensky gets a much friendlier welcome in London one day after his disastrous meeting with President Trump. I'll tell you what happened. You're going to see the news.
Welcome back. I got news for you. New tonight on CNN.
Greed mod. Activate. Form of greed.
At the University, you'll get the dedicated support you need every step of the way. Ever feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine? 15 or more headaches a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches and chronic migraine. In a survey, 91% of users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history. Muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton.
Is it dead?
And medicines like botulinum toxins.
Oh, that was amazing.
Chronic migraine is
that was amazing.
Ask your doctor about Botox today. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. What you might not know is performance and durability go right along with it. You see, we test, and then
you can rest in peace now.
World-class engineering and rigorous testing to ensure our tools perform
always
highest level
double tap.
The test of time without testing your walls. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
CO2 therapy isn't pretty. From the struggle to breathe, to getting stopped in the tracks. But with Trelegy, I can finally move forward. With 3 medicines in one inhaler, Trelegy keeps my airways open for a full 24 hours and prevents future flare-ups. Once daily Trelegy also improves lung function.
so I can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trilogy won't replace rescue.
Let's get it. Our first tempered monster.
Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsening breathing, chest pain, mouth and tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain.
Ask your doctor about once-daily Trilogy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful all day and night.
Tap into Etsy for original and affordable home and style pieces like lighting under $150 to brighten your vibe.
I need meat.
For under $100,
I'm gonna eat our
pick
steak.
best foot forward with vintage jackets. Or pick up custom shelving for under $50 to make space without emptying your pockets. And get cozy with linen robes for $75 or less. For affordable home and style finds to help you welcome whatever's next.
Ow.
Etsy has it.
Ah. We're gonna ride it. Oh.
Well, you're in Pittsburgh now.
How was your vacation, sir? Oh, I needed one.
With your 10% loyalty program discount, that's $225 for the night.
Not bad. $155 for the night. Hold up. How? It's easy when you know where to look. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of sites, so you can save up to 40%. Trivago's my secret. Hotel? Trivago.
Oh, she was sleeping.
The Oscars.
Hosted by me, Conan O'Brien.
Sunday, March 2nd, live on ABC and Hulu.
Wait, how many times?
During the CNN newsroom, I'm Jessica Bean in New York, and tonight we're on the rally behind Ukraine.
One more time.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer and British Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky attend Downing Street this afternoon.
That one happened. You will be United Kingdom such big support.
I want to ride it.
And my word had been that His Majesty became a second meeting tomorrow and tackle that to organize such a summit tomorrow. And we are very happy in Ukraine that we have such strategic partners.
The UK announcing plans today to speed up a $2.8 billion loan for Ukraine.
Alright, we kill it.
Of course, just a day after that fiery exchange in the Oval Office between President Trump and Zelensky. Tomorrow, the Ukrainian president is set to meet with European leaders in London. And let's go there now. CNN's international diplomatic editor Nick Robertson is in London with details.
Bye-bye.
As you noted last hour, Keir Starmer is known for being super big hugger or very affectionate, but he did everything he could to really telegraph how supportive he and his government and his country are of Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine.
Yeah, there was a big sort of choreographed movement right in front of the cameras, and it lasted a while, and that really signaled Downing Street does something like that when Keir Starmer does something that he doesn't normally do, which is a big hug, walk down the street and give a big hug to a visiting leader. It's symbolic, it's sending a message, and President Zelensky spoke after the meeting and described the meetings as significant and warm. I mean, warm was definitely not the feeling that he had in the White House yesterday. So, I think he was making a point. He also made a couple of other points that I think were significant. He talked about the fact that he was happy to have and pleased to have a partner who shared the same vision for forward. And so the way that he's describing this a leader here who he says that they share the same direction and understanding of what should happen to Ukraine, that it should have security guarantees going forward, that it should have a lasting peace, and it should have a peace that is a fair peace. All these sorts of pieces of language that we heard reflected
by the Prime Minister's spokesperson at Downing Street when they described the meeting. This is in stark contrast to what happened yesterday, and I think it is part of a reset, and clearly an important part of a reset if the United States is to be engaged by the Europeans, which is what the Italian Prime Minister is saying should happen. And the British Prime Minister will be having a one-on-one with Giorgia Meloni when she comes to be part of that bigger European leaders meeting that's happening in London tomorrow. So all of this feels like something of a reset for Zelensky. We're not at a reset in his relationship with President Trump, and we're not at a reset in the shock that Europe is feeling again about the way the White House is handling Ukraine specifically and Russia as well. So it's a step in that direction, but it is a single step tonight.
All right, Nick Robertson in London with great reporting there. Thank you so much for that. I want to go now to CNN Senior White House producer Betsy Klein, who is joining us from West Palm Beach, Florida, for the Trump of all of this. So one day later, Betsy, the question is, what are Trump's allies? What is the president thinking and saying about all of this? Well, Jessica, the White House so far today has just been amplifying messages of support from top Trump allies, including those on Capitol Hill, members of the cabinet, as well as White House officials, sending multiple emails today citing rave reviews for how President Trump handled that Oval Office meeting with President Zelensky. However, Vice President J.D. Vance is vacationing in a remote ski town in Vermont, and we did see some protests today lining the streets, including one protester who said, "Go ski in Russia, traitor." So very notable there. But remember that back on the campaign trail, President Trump campaigned on the idea, in part, that the U.S. is spending too much on support for Ukraine in its war against Russia now 3 years on. And support more broadly by Americans for this war has waned over the past 3 years. Of course, President Trump used this from an economic standpoint and really sees himself as a deal maker who wants to broker peace between Russia and Ukraine. We saw him take steps toward that as he initiated those talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and then, of course, welcoming President Zelensky into the Oval Office on Friday for that meeting that just devolved into raised voices and so much tension. It was ostensibly aimed at signing a deal on critical minerals between the U.S. and Ukraine.
Hell yeah.
Of course, they walked out empty-handed, a breakdown in diplomacy. Trump and his top aides huddled in a separate room after the press left the room, and his aides overwhelmingly advised him that it was time for the talks to end. So Trump dispatched his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, to tell the Ukrainians they were no longer welcome at the White House. But his harsh words for Ukraine continued today. Take a look.
He's clearly solely focused on believing he needs to fact check and correct every nuance. You know, it's like a ex-girlfriend that wants to argue, everything that you said 9 years ago, rather than moving the relationship forward.
Trump is now claiming that Zelensky doesn't want to
Maybe the tail and the thunder
Zelensky is disputing, but of course,
4 thunder sucks. Wow.
Broadly reimagine the role of the U.S. in the world and really changing U.S. alliances abroad. Of course, diplomats say
and his thing.
heated discussions between world leaders.
We gotta fight the Fogger engine up 2 times because we need this bow.
Is that all of this took place in full view of the White House press corps. Trump, for his part, a master of stagecraft, said he thought it was going to make great television. The question now is what happens between this relationship with the U.S. and Ukraine, whether it can be salvaged, and what happens to the future of U.S. support for the war-torn country, Jessica? Yeah, there are certainly many, many questions. Betsy Klein in West Palm Beach, thank you so much for that.
I have no clue what this one is.
With the New York Representative Nicole Malliotakis. She's joining us. She's on the House Ways and Means Committee and the House Republican Conference Assistant Whip. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here with us. I want to start there where we just left off on this topic of Ukraine and what comes next. I know your district has a very large Ukrainian population.
This is a fire.
I want to get your thoughts first on that explosive meeting at the White House yesterday.
that Maurice?
Well, obviously, it took a disappointing turn of events, and as you said, I have a large Ukrainian population and those in my district, and I think all Americans and people around the world want to see peace. We want to see a ceasefire. We want to see an end to this horrific, deadly war.
Oh!
Look, the American people have spent about $175 billion to support Ukraine, and we've done so very generously. But the prior administration seemed to do so blindly, without having a plan, without having a strategy. And I believe the Trump administration here is trying to
snap! Art makes us a baddie.
Have peace. Again, it's not just the money. It's the hundreds of thousands of innocent lives that we've seen perish. It is the millions of Ukrainians who have lost their homes, that they become refugees. And so it is in the best interest of everyone to get both parties at the table. And President Trump, being the deal maker he is, attempted to do that. And the economic partnership that was being offered here, I thought, was very important and very critical for Ukraine. It shows a strong strategic partnership between our two countries. And in many ways, this economic partnership becomes a strategic partnership, but a security partnership as well, because we would be
what is this?
In Ukraine, and I think that would be in itself a major deterrent to Putin. And so hopefully this can be fixed, and we can see the parties come together, and more importantly, at the end of the day, we can see a ceasefire and an end to this war.
Well, the president did call Zelensky a dictator. He later said he didn't remember doing that. But he has really refused to call out Vladimir Putin and his actions.
Are you going to turn the helmet back on?
One of your Republican colleagues in the Senate wrote today, Lisa Murkowski, I'm sick to my stomach. The administration appears to be walking away from our allies and embracing Putin, a threat to democracy and U.S. values around the world. Do you believe President Trump has held Putin accountable for invading Ukraine? And is Lisa Murkowski right? Are you concerned about that?
Look, I don't agree necessarily with that sentiment. I believe that President Trump is trying to take the side of Ukraine here, and that is why he offered this type of deal. He offered this type of economic partnership that would not only help the United States, because we are in desperate need of critical minerals to compete with China for the things that we need here, semiconductors and other things, but he was offering a way out for Ukraine. And that is so incredibly important, I think. I think it was a missed opportunity, quite frankly, from President Zelensky to not take that opportunity. And I think that's the most important thing here, is that he recognizes that this war is at a stalemate. They will continue to lose young Ukrainian lives. They will continue to see the Ukrainian people be refugees if we do not put an end to this war. And this was the best option. It was the best option presented, by the way, of any leader. I don't see any of these European leaders. And I know you showed the clip earlier of this meeting taking place in the UK. Very nice words, nice photo. But at the end of the day, who else is trying to get both sides to a table to negotiate?
Nice, though.
It is only President Trump that is doing that, and I hope that this can come back together.
And Congresswoman, I do hear you on that point, but he also kicked Vladimir Zelensky out of the White House and got a shouting match with him in the Oval Office. I mean, do you think that that's the appropriate way to treat an ally?
Look, I don't think the other way. Zelensky expressed himself either. It seemed very not appreciative of what we were trying to accomplish here and the help that we've been giving him over the last few years.
And so what was he to do? To just sit there and smile? I mean, I am genuinely asking how you think this gets back on track.
He was coming here to sign a deal. This was an understanding that was the purpose of the meeting, to sign the economic arrangement that would have been a benefit to both of our nations, would have shown the world that the United States and Ukraine are together, that we're moving forward with an economic partnership, and that we're going to bring both sides to the table to get a ceasefire and bring peace and end this war, something that no other
world leader has been able to do over the last 3 years.
You gotta say the
I
name.
want to ask you about a couple of things that are happening. We've got a few things happening on Capitol Hill right now. There is a potential government shutdown looming.
Oh, the Gypsy Girls one?
Any bill is going to need bipartisan support. Some of your Republican colleagues, though, aren't going to support a bipartisan bill. Where would you say things stand now? Are you optimistic that you all can get there and avoid a government shutdown?
Well, look, the president has indicated he wanted to do a continuing resolution, which means that they would actually be continuing the funding levels that President Biden had last signed in, and we should be able to get easily 7 Democrat votes in the Senate to support that.
Those are kind of
and
high.
as always in the House, it would have to pass bipartisan support as well, because you probably would lose some Republicans. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be what happens here, or if we'll see the Democrats try to leverage and get more to deliver their 7 votes. I think we shouldn't be playing games here with a government shutdown. Generally speaking, the Democrats have overwhelmingly voted with us to avert the last few government shutdowns. So I imagine that they would.
Yeah, so that's low rank. That's low rank though.
But I'm not sure if they're going to try to leverage it, and we'll have to see how this whole thing unfolds. But one thing is for sure, that it will.
Maybe we need to find high rank. See the high rank version.
Done, and as a member of the Problem Solvers Caucus, I'm committed to ensuring that that happens and that we avert a government shutdown. I've been through about 4 or 5 of these already. This is only my 3rd term. I think we can get it done again.
Yeah,
but that's the lower rank one. We can't put it on unless we find the high rank one.
About the compromise that will have to happen amongst congressional Republicans, amongst themselves, to advance the president's agenda. You all in the House passed this blueprint, in part calling for some $880 billion in cuts from federal health and energy programs. And there is concern that you can't get to that number without making cuts to Medicaid, which is overseen by that committee. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, this was obviously
Oda Garen has to expire.
That we need to make sure we're protecting our seniors, our disabled, children with disabilities, and our vulnerable citizens that rely on the program. I was able to get assurances from the president as well as the speaker that we were not going to impact beneficiaries who meet the eligibility requirements, and also that the reimbursement for New York State would remain at 50%, that it would not be lowered. That was critical to protect my hospitals. With that said, I also point out that Caitlin Collins the other day also said that there's about $100 billion a year in waste, fraud, and abuse in the Medicare and Medicaid system. We're talking about $88 billion a year, $880 billion over 10 years. So there's plenty to go after in terms of waste, fraud, and abuse. And we got to get these Medicaid fraudsters off, because what they're doing is they're actually hurting the very people that this program was meant for. And with a $37 trillion debt, which we need to get control over our fiscal responsibilities here, we have to make sure that these programs don't go bankrupt in the future. And the best way to do that is to make sure they're going to the people who are actually eligible for them.
Yeah, and so it sounds like your red line is making sure that people who are eligible, rightly eligible, continue receiving those benefits. There are no cuts to those benefits, right?
Absolutely, and that is exactly what the Speaker and the President has said as well. We need to stick to and make sure that that happens.
All right, Representative Nicole Maliotakis, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
While reaction to Friday's clash has been mixed here in the United States, the response has been nearly jubilant in Russia, with that Oval Office spat bringing Putin closer to his goals of reshaping the world order and America's place in it. Tonight, we're talking with a former State Department official as we learn about Moscow's efforts to expand its spy program here in the U.S., looking to recruit federal workers who recently were fired.
Amid upheaval and sweeping changes,
The President of the United States!
Trump heads to Capitol Hill to share what's next. Follow CNN for complete coverage and in-depth analysis. The presidential address to Congress, Tuesday at 8 on CNN.
I'm gonna walk there.
Oh, I can't buy this.
Whoa, your Empower investment account has grown. You earned it, so get good at me so you can be a little bad. Empower.
Hey there. No need to adjust your TV, or more likely your phone. You're watching a recycled commercial. See, at Mint Mobile, we're always looking for innovative ways to save our money so we can save you money. instead of paying for a new commercial, we're reusing this equipment. And that means we can afford to keep offering you premium wireless for 15 bucks. We only need one change. How are you doing?
Sonia, Erlene, and Marsha are among the thousands of new women living with metastatic breast cancer doing what they love and taking Ibrance. Ibrance, with an aromatase inhibitor, is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ibrance plus letrozole significantly delayed disease progression versus letrozole alone. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening chest pain, cough, or trouble breathing. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. All medical conditions you have and about all the medicines you take. For more information about side effects, talk to your doctor. These are real women taking Ibrance. Ask your doctor about Ibrance.
An MSC cruise isn't just a vacation, it's a holiday full of European style.
And all the things Americans love too. Come on.
There are a ton of football matches.
Games, football games. Woo! You ready for some adrenaline?
How high is that?
So high.
Nervous?
Proud to say.
Gelato.
Froyo.
Architecture.
Architecture.
That is a big app.
It's American. Of course it's big.
What a vacation.
Don't you mean holiday?
My bad.
We should stop now.
Yeah.
If you take or have taken Humira for moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis and still have symptoms, you don't have to settle. Ask your gastroenterologist if switching to Rinvoq is right for you. It's one of the latest treatments from the makers of Humira. Rinvoq works differently than Humira and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can deliver rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and helps visibly reduce damage of the intestinal lining.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers, including lymphoma and skin. Serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occur. TB event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events. Infection, Hep B or C, smoke, are pregnant or planning. Don't take allergic or have an infection.
Rapid symptom relief and lasting steroid-free remission are possible with Rinvoq. Ask your gastroenterologist if switching to Rinvoq is right for you. You can pay as little as $0 per month.
What are you doing, Ella? Looking on my daily profile. Want to see? I think that's me.
How do you sleep at night?
On a mattress without a mattress front. It's got cooling technology, so now I sleep.
Get matched at Mattress Firm? Sleep at night.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. What you might not know is performance and durability go right along with it. You see, we test, and then we test again. World-class engineering and rigorous testing to ensure our tools perform at the highest level and stand the test of time without testing the wall. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Want a next level clean? Switch with the Whoop.
Oh, he's level 65, yeah.
Kills
He's way up
99.9%
there.
of bad breath germs for 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Get a next level clean with Listerine. Feel the Whoop.
United States of Skin.
He's been grinding all day, bro.
Sunday watching night on CNN.
This guy's been grinding days for it.
The European Union's top diplomat says it's time for a new leader of the free world, saying it's, quote, up to us Europeans to take this challenge. This as European leaders prepare to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky tomorrow during a summit in London, where they're going to try to figure out what's next for the war-torn country following yesterday's explosive clash with President Trump. And joining us now, former State Department spokesperson under President Biden, Ned Price. Ned, thanks so much for being here with us. I first just want to get your thoughts just on the juxtaposition of what we saw in the Oval Office yesterday compared to what Keir Starmer, the big bear hug he enveloped Zelensky in today outside St. Downing Street, and just how he went to great pains to telegraph his support. Just your thoughts on how very opposed American policy is right now with that of one of its closest allies, the UK.
Just that you couldn't have a more starker pair of reactions. Look, what we saw yesterday
it was disconcerting. It was almost painful to watch, and I unfortunately have subjected myself to watching this several times. As someone who's worked in and around the Oval Office over the course of many years, as an American who reveres the office precisely because it has been the venue where presidents of both political parties over the course of successive decades have protected and promoted liberty and freedom and democracy and gave meaning to that very term that you heard from the European leader, the leader of the free world. That is not at all what we saw yesterday. In fact, we saw quite the opposite yesterday. I think what we saw yesterday was an ambush, and I think it was in many ways a premeditated ambush. Not to, of course, support our partner who's being subjugated and subjected to brutal aggression by its larger neighbor to the east, but rather to score political points. And I think what you've been discussing over the course of the past hour, the ways in which the White House is really touting this as President Trump putting America first and doing away with the approach the Biden administration took is exhibit A through Z of the way they are trying to squeeze as much political juice out of this. This is a worldview, unfortunately, where President Zelensky is in some ways, according to President Trump's own mind, responsible for his first impeachment, that so-called perfect phone call, and a worldview in which President Putin, rather than be the bully that he is invading his next-door neighbor, is a fellow victim. Because again, in President Trump's mind, they went through the so-called Russia hoax together. He spoke of a sense of camaraderie with President Putin and displayed a sense of antagonism towards President Zelensky that we haven't seen. And we saw quite the opposite today, as you said, from the Prime Minister himself in London, but I think also more tellingly from the citizens of the United Kingdom. They came out in force to the streets to welcome President Zelensky's motorcade, to show their support, to show their enthusiasm for him. That is the response the President of Ukraine should have received from the White House as well.
And Russian officials were reportedly gobsmacked by what happened in the Oval Office. Russia clearly quite happy with how things have turned. That relationship between Putin and Trump, how would you characterize it at this point? And what do you think that does for the national security of the United States?
Well, Moscow is, of course, furious over what they've seen over the course of the past 24 hours. Americans are reckoning with this, our European allies and partners are reckoning with this. In the Kremlin, they're rejoicing, and they're rejoicing for one simple reason. There is a recipe that the American government knows, our European allies know, and the Kremlin knows for ultimately achieving a security in Ukraine that is victorious. That is to say, a Ukraine that is prosperous, that is sovereign, with the means and ability to defend itself going forward. And there are three elements to that, each of which is fundamental, but one is much more important than the other. Very quickly, it is forms of assistance, security assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance for Ukraine. It is consequences on Moscow, that's to say the sanctions, the export controls, the other economic and financial measures that the West and our partners and allies have imposed on Moscow. But three, and this is the most important leg of this school.
I'm learning from them, I'm learning. He's teaching me the max.
Unified sense of purpose, a sense of unity across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, countries standing against this brutal aggression that we've seen from the Kremlin. Without that unity, it gives Putin a sense that he has an escape hatch, that he has a way out of this, that the pressure will be relenting, and that he will be able to make peace on his terms. And those terms, of course, will not be favorable for Ukraine, but also they won't be favorable for the forces of democracy and liberty and freedom around the world. If Putin ends up victorious, it will, of course, be a victory for Putin. It will, of course, be a victory for the North Koreans who are fighting alongside him. But it will be a victory for every autocrat and would-be autocrat the world over, including in China, as President Xi is watching very closely as he thinks about his next steps vis-a-vis Taiwan, his next steps vis-a-vis our allies and partners in the Pacific with whom he has These lessons will be learned, they'll be internalized by autocrats and despots around the world.
Broke his face.
The Trump administration and his allies whom I talked to today have said, they make the argument, no one else on earth can get everybody to come to the table and try to get a peace deal. That this is just kind of how it has to go to get to peace. Do you agree with that assessment?
Jessica, I think we have to define peace.
Senpai, does bow ever get harder?
Virtually any
Like, will I ever get good at bow?
could
I want to add senpai.
peace on these parties if peace entails surrender. If peace entails essentially a ceasefire, telling the Russians, telling the Ukrainians, stop fighting, stop where you are, lay down your arms. I think we have to think of a ceasefire as tantamount to surrender.
I gotta do gestures.
Because a ceasefire is not the same thing as a just peace. A just peace that distinguishes the aggressor, Russia in this case, from the victim, Ukraine in this case. If a ceasefire were imposed on both parties, it would cede some 20% of Ukraine's territory to Russia. It would send a very clear signal to Putin that his aggression has been rewarded. He is getting something in return for it. And I think perhaps even more concerningly, it will send a choice message both for Putin, but also for despots and autocrats around the world.
I missed it.
For this type of aggression, really a type of aggression that we thought was nearly vanished with the end of the Second World War, when countries came together and said there are certain rules of the road. Big countries cannot bully smaller countries. Might does not make right. We will live together respecting our sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. Putin is flaunting all of those things. And if a ceasefire, aka a surrender, is imposed, all of those rules will be out the window. It will be open season for leaders like Putin once again.
All right, Ned Price, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tonight, as police investigate why Gene Hackman and Betsy died, liberating new details from the couple's relatives and longtime friends about the days before their
Meowchi. Meowchi's happy.
What I got news for you is back. Let's think of some new games to play. What do you have?
Yes, something like
Oh, no, we're gonna abandon you, Meowchi. Nah, I know, he's afraid of abandonment. Bye, Meowchi.
Tonight at 9 on CNN.
How do you sleep at night?
I'm from Mattress Firm, so I sleep.
At Mattress Firm's 72-hour sale, save up to 72% on top brands. Get matched at Mattress Firm, sleep at night.
Let's go see what it is. Odo Garen.
Relief after Miralax months ago. Miralax sleeps naturally with the water in your body.
Baddie.
In a supernaturally good mood. Miralax, for your guts, for your mood.
Before the spotlight, we struggled to keep the lights on. I saw more for myself, and SoFi gives members the financial tools to see more for themselves. Join the official bank of the NBA. SoFi, get your money right. Lumify?
It's kind of amazing. Wow. Lumify eye drops dramatically reduce redness in 1 minute. And look at the difference. My eyes look brighter and whiter for up to 8 hours. Lumify really works. See for yourself.
Taxes is paying the price. Now taxes is TurboTax, beating your last gross price when you switch to an expert. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
You're seeing Skechers' famous glide set footwear everywhere. And now that famous design is available in hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. Get the comfort and style glide set now with the convenience of slip-ins, with no bending down or touching your shoes. Try glide set Skechers Slip-ins.
Safe like repair, safe like replace. Nobody likes a cracked windshield.
Repair it again?
But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Can confirm. Very easy.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home. Safe like repair, safe like replace. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule a replacement today. Work. Play. Blake. Relief. Work. Play. Blake. Relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Blake.
Experience advanced technology in Buick Envision. Equipped with the largest in class ultra-wide 30-inch diagonal display and Google built-in compatibility, innovation is at your fingertips. Buick, exceptional by design.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure complete with 30
What if I just rest over and over?
Like
Experience everything you loved about Dave & Buster's and everything you will love about Dave & Buster's. With new and exclusive games like Top Gun, a human crane that takes fun to new heights, and a delicious new menu. Experience it all with our Eat and Play combo.
An MSC cruise isn't just a vacation, it's a holiday full of European style.
And all the things Americans love too.
Come on, pull it up. There are a ton of football matches.
Games, football games. Woo! You ready for some adrenaline?
Absolutely. How high is that?
So high.
Privacy.
Privacy.
Oh, when I rest, we get our stuff.
Architecture.
Oh, it's the honey money.
It's American. Of course it's big.
What a vacation.
Don't you mean holiday?
My bad.
We should stop now.
Yeah, bro. He's gonna love this brushwork. Yeah, dude. You absolutely How many times have I told you? Only drink Jägermeister ice cold.
That's great.
Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Twitter, Breaking the Bird, premieres March 9th on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
If you or a loved one have mesothelioma, we'll send you a free book that answers questions you
I'm glad I'm not a gunner.
and will come to you 800-821-4000.
Investigators are revealing new details in Oscar winner
Yeah, we can buy poop.
his wife Betsy's deaths this week as family and friends mourn their loss. Police now say data from Hackman's pacemaker shows he was likely deceased 9 days before those bodies were found in their Santa Fe home, and that mummification was present in both. They also report there were no signs of poisons, carbon monoxide leaks, foul play, but the circumstances are what they call suspicious enough to warrant a thorough look. CNN's Josh Campbell has the latest now from New Mexico.
Significant new details in the death of Hollywood icon Gene Hackman and his 65-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, after their bodies were discovered inside their New Mexico home. Investigators now say it is very likely the 95-year-old actor died over a week before he was found.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17, 2025.
The Santa Fe Sheriff says tests have also confirmed that Hackman and Arakawa both tested negative for carbon monoxide. There's also new information released about several items seized by police from Hackman's home. 2 green-colored cellular devices, 3 medicines, a thyroid medication, a medication used to treat high blood pressure or chest pain, and Tylenol. Also records from MyQuest, a medical diagnostic service, and a 2025 planner.
We'll be analyzing cell phone data, phone calls, text messages, events, photos in the cell phone to try to piece a timeline together, and then hopefully make a determination what may have happened to both the individuals.
Their bodies were discovered Wednesday inside their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Deputies consider the circumstances suspicious enough to warrant a thorough investigation.
I think I'm pretty confident that there is no foul play just based on the lack of evidence of foul play. But we, of course, we're not ruling that out.
Deputies found them during a welfare check request from 2 maintenance workers who told police they had not been in contact with the homeowners for about 2 weeks. Investigators say the 95-year-old actor was found on the ground in a mudroom. Arakawa was found on the ground inside a bathroom next to an open prescription pill bottle with pills scattered around. A German Shepherd dog was also found dead near her body, inside a crate. Officials say a toxicology report could take some time.
It could be months or 3 months or longer, in my experience.
And in addition to waiting on toxicology reports, investigators are also waiting to get into the cell phones they seized at Gene Hackman's home. They say that could contain critical information to help them build this timeline about when the couple actually died. They say they may have to reach out to other agencies in order to try to get into those devices. Josh Campbell, CNN, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
America's support for Ukraine's war has certainly shifted in the 3 years since Russia's invasion. We are running the numbers on just how much and how that may be influencing the White House's strategy. Ari Anton is here when we come back.
Tomorrow, the dramatic fallout from the war of words in the Oval Office. House Speaker Mike Johnson and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz join Dana, plus Democratic Senator Chris Murphy. State of the Union, live tomorrow morning at 9.
This is the Emirates bringing economy.
Where do we go?
Economy.
Perhaps need to call
Warner, where are you?
You get an update in my kitchen? Yeah. Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen in subway tile and ivory or eggshell. Maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. Beautiful waterfall.
For everyone who talks about doing that thing, but never does that thing, Chase has financial guidance.
Wonder if you're worth it, boy.
Really?
At home or in person.
You should also check out the Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours. Oh, pizza! Trapped by dishes.
Don't worry, they've got new dark power sets. It'll power through this whole pile with ease.
Yeah, it's the dish soap with 2 times more powerful sets.
Lucky that.
Dawn's first sets that zap off and remove 99% of grease.
So it doesn't get passed from dish to dish.
Clean and stacked.
Like ducks in a row. New dark power sets.
That's what you want to say for Warner.
I told you I don't need these anymore. I have sling.
Okay, morning.
Oh wait, it's still there.
I need the same form. Nice one.
Nope. Sling is not the only one in a quick and reliable manner.
There's a wonderful place.
This fucking time pause for the critical news coverage that Sling provides.
The most important news at the best price.
That's actually kind of cool. Oh.
Mine and Doug's have quality care can bring out a smile.
Let the greed be your guide.
Years since she was able to enjoy a smile of her own. Good thing, Aspen Dental offers affordable complete care, all in one place. And new patients that have insurance get $29 exams and x-rays, plus 20% off treatment plans for everyone. Loving our patients.
Holy snap.
It's one more way. Aspen Dental is in your corner.
Our remodels are made to look beautiful and made to last.
So we hand-selected products that are stylish and durable to create new designs for your bathroom. See them now at rebath.com.
We're going to take everything down to step.
From design and products to removal and installation,
Turned out amazing.
Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call
Nice.
rebath.com for your free in-home design consultation.
If you're shopping for a home, you could browse hundreds of listings to find homes with big yards, or compare lot sizes all at once. Searching full color to find space to grow. Home search will never be the same again.
You make good choices. Always coming ahead. Like to not just chase a career, but one day follow your heart. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At Universe, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Want a next level clean? Switch with the Whoa of Listerine. It kills 99.9% of bad breath germs for 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Get a next level clean with Listerine. Feel the Whoa.
The presidential address to Congress, Tuesday at 8 on CNN.
Oh, we were on them.
On the campaign trail, a recurring promise from then candidate Trump was he would end the war between Ukraine and Russia on his first day back in the White House.
Russians and Ukrainians. I wanted to stop that.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I'll have that done in 24 hours. After we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president before I take office on January 20th. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president.
You said that you make that deal before you take office. You still think you can make that deal?
Good job.
But after the fireworks in the Oval Office, it may be even more difficult to end the war anytime soon. Seeing Chief Data Analyst Harry Enton joining us now to run the numbers on this. Hello, Harry. But tell us where Republican voters stand on everything.
Yeah, I know a lot of my Democratic friends couldn't believe what they were seeing in the White House yesterday between President Zelensky and President Trump. Side of the aisle. Republicans on the Russia-Ukraine war. Look at this. Want a quick end of the war, but Russia still keeps captured land from Ukraine. Look at this. Look at the majority of Republicans. 74%, three-quarters of Republicans, near unanimity on that particular subject, compared to just 25% who say that they support Ukraine's fight, even if it means a longer-lasting war. The bottom line is this: is it really clear? Very, very clear that Republicans want an end to this war. They are willing for Ukraine to give up that land that Russia currently has. They do not want this war extended. And I think what we saw yesterday in the White House was a clear illustration of that Republican point of view. Donald Trump representing Republicans well.
And so what is the trend line, though, on how Republicans have felt about the war?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just go, oh my goodness gracious, you see a trend line just sort of jump out at you off the screen, right? The Republicans who want the Russia-Ukraine war to end, even if Russia keeps the captured land. You go back to August of 2022, which is 46% of Republicans. You look by October of 2023, it's 55% of Republicans. But again, look at where we were by the end of last year. 74% of Republicans. My goodness gracious. This is the
I ain't afraid of bears, bro.
To what we saw in the White House yesterday, whereby Republicans have changed their point of view on this war tremendously from where they were
Sorry, Winnie the
2 years
Pooh.
ago, let alone
You gotta go down.
back in August of 2022. The bottom line is that Republicans want this war to end, even if it means that Russia keeps the captured land from Ukraine.
It is an incredible trendline that you map out there. What about Republican feelings for President Zelensky?
Yeah, I mean, again, what we saw yesterday in the White House is just a clear illustration of where Republicans are on this issue. Republicans on Zelensky doing the right thing when it comes to world affairs. 67% back in 2022 believe that he will do the right thing, compared to just 32% said he wouldn't. Look at where we were by last year, though. 55%, the clear majority say that he won't do the right thing. He won't do the right thing. So yesterday in the White House, I think a lot of Republicans felt there was an illustration of that, compared to just 34%. Look at that. A 33-point drop from where we were in 2022 said well. The bottom line is I think yesterday confirmed the fire for Republicans to believe Zelensky will not do the right thing when it comes to world affairs.
And what about how Republicans feel about the U.S. role in helping Ukraine?
Yeah, again, I mean, look at this trend line. Look at the GOP, who say the U.S. backs Ukraine too much when it comes to the war. Back in February of 2022, it was 6%. Look at where we were by last month. 62% of Republicans say the U.S. backs Ukraine too much. Again, I think they'd be big fans of what they saw in the White House yesterday, Jessica.
Yeah, and lastly, Zelensky tried to make a point yesterday that what happens in this war will eventually matter to the U.S. But do Americans feel that way?
Yeah, do Americans feel that way? Do Republicans feel that way? GOP on the Russia-Ukraine war outcome matters a great deal of life in the U.S. Back in March of 2022, with half the Republicans, 50%. Look at where we were by last month. Just 15%. Again, Republicans will agree with Donald Trump. They disagree with Zelensky on this particular issue. It's just a story of a changed Republican Party.
It certainly is, Harrington, and you laid out with all those numbers. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
The man who left New York's governorship in scandal just 3 years ago, now hoping to mount a big-time political comeback. But Andrew Cuomo is jumping into an already crowded campaign for mayor of New York. We'll talk more about it when we come back.
Cooked books, corporate fat cats, swindling socialites, doped-up cyclists, then yes, more crooked politicians. I have a feeling we won't be running out of those anytime soon.
A new season of United States Expanded with Jake Tapper, March 9th on CNN.
Buying a car is kind of a big deal, but you use the Car Gurus app. That's the price drop alert, so the deals come to you. Oops. Big deals for every need. Car Gurus. Download the app today.
Sometimes you just need a moment. Self-care has never been this easy. gummy vitamins from Nature Made. The #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Take a breath of fresh air with the Stanley Steamer Air Duct Cleaner. We clean over 10 million feet of air ducts each year with our specialized trucks, built by us, removing the contaminants from your home. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer Clean.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you. At Capella University, you'll learn in-demand business skills relevant to the career you want.
When I really philosophize about it, there's one thing you don't have enough of, and that's time. Time is a truly scarce commodity. When you come to that realization, I think it's very important to spend time wisely. And what better way of spending time than traveling, continuing to educate ourselves and broaden our minds.
Can we make it bigger? Warner, are you gonna make it bigger?
In comfort.
Our floors don't stay clean very long. That's why I love my Surfer Web. I pop on a pad and get a mop-like clean floor in just one swipe.
Jaren's about to be crazy next year.
The fluffy cloths pick up hair like a magnet. Surfer, you'll love it, or your money back.
What are folks 60 and older learning these days?
New perspectives.
How to fix things.
Fun recipe.
Tap into Etsy for original and affordable home and style pieces like lighting under $150 to brighten your vibe. For under $100, put your best foot forward with vintage jackets. Or pick up custom shelving for under $50 to make space for your pods. And get cozy with linen robes for $75 or less. For affordable home and style finds to help you welcome whatever's next. Etsy has it.
Want a next level clean? Switch with the Whoa of Listerine. It kills 99.9% of bad breath germs for 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Get a next level clean with Listerine. Feel the Whoa.
Quality healthcare shouldn't take up all your time. HIMS offers access to doctor-trusted treatments for hair loss, ED, and weight loss 100% online. Answer a few questions about your health history to connect with a licensed
Arcfeld.
not weeks. You can get personalized treatment 24/7 and medication delivered directly. No need for insurance or appointments. Get the care you need and get back to your day. Expert care 100% online. Get started today at HIMS.com.
It's in our very nature to seek the excitement of the unexpected, and in this learning to experience what lies beyond.
Subaru is good stuff,
It's
but
time to win. Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving away a Reshark Wheel Watch plus $15,000 cash in April. With 3 ways to secure a finalist spot, you could be the lucky winner of this luxury Swiss timepiece on April 9th. Details at Yamaha.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly. CNN presents HBO's Real Time with Omar tonight on CNN.
It won't be easy, but I know we can turn the city around. And I believe I can help. And that is why I announced my candidacy today for mayor of New York City.
That is New York's one-time governor, Andrew Cuomo, who appears to be hoping the controversy surrounding New York Mayor Eric Adams could give him the opening he needs to unseat Adams. The former governor announcing his new campaign today, nearly 4 years after he resigned from office. 11 women accused him of sexual misconduct, allegations he still denies. CNN's Gloria Pasamino joins us now from New York. Gloria, a number of officials are reacting to Cuomo's announcement. What are you hearing? The response has been fierce and it has been swift, especially among all the other candidates that are already running in this Democratic primary. There's over 6 candidates that are already challenging Mayor Eric Adams, and all of them have put out strong responses to Andrew Cuomo announcing today that he is joining the race. All of them very ready to. Stage of this primary race, the primary election is in. Is someone who enjoys near.
Actual anarchists and people who are dreamers, like people who believe in a world that could be created through the internet. A lot of jugglers. I think that this speaks to their counterculture kind of backgrounds.
These are the people I'm laughing with all day long. I'm working through problems and it's really fun and challenging to solve.
Until 3 in the morning at the office and wrote fantastic.
Twitter, Breaking the Bird, premieres next Sunday night, March 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific. Only here on CNN.
It's the news.
Welcome back.
But it's also kind of not the news.
We don't fact check this. We don't care, man.
Why is all the information on this show so terrible?
But I got news for you. Tonight at 9 on CNN.
Want a next level clean? Swish with the Whoa of Listerine. It kills 99.9% of bad breath germs for 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Get a next level clean with Listerine. Feel the Whoa.
How do you sleep at night? On a mattress and mattress guard. So I sleep.
The President's Day sale ends soon. Save up to $700 on Sealy. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night.
Oh, would you look at that?
Jerry, you gotta see this. Saying it. Trust me, after 15 walks, it's a little old. Yeah, I really should be retired by now. Wish I invested when I had the chance. To the moon.
Stop waiting. Start investing each
Morgan Stanley.
Ever since they got DirecTV, they don't miss a game. Not the opening pitch, not even the pregame flyover. Not the hook. It's baseball season in America, baby.
He hurt.
Those Chiefs are Canadian, okay? We've got baseball here, too. Kids, I'm sure, wondered when the other line last year's right?
It's because it's about
That
is the reason. I thought it's because I made varsity.
You did?
Of course you did. Of course you did. If you take or have taken Humira for moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis and still have symptoms, you don't have to settle. Ask your gastroenterologist if switching to Rinvoq is right for you. It's one of the latest treatments from the makers of Humira. Rinvoq works differently than Humira, and they help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can deliver rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and helps visibly reduce damage of the intestinal lining.
Rinvoq can lower the ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin. Serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occur. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events. Infection, Hep B or C, smoke, are pregnant or planned. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Rapid symptom relief and lasting steroid-free remission are possible with Rinvoq. Ask your gastroenterologist if switching to Rinvoq is right for you. You can pay as little as $0 per month.
You might know Harbor's rate for affordability. You might not know performance and durability go
Oh, the guarantee? Dog versus spider. I mean, dog versus octopus. Who wins?
Hi, I'm Premium Wireless, $15 a month. They've made mobile. When I'm Premium Wireless for $15 a month, hey, why not Premium Wireless for $15 a month? Who am I kidding? Premium Wireless for $15 a month will always be Premium Wireless for $15 a month. And sometimes, Premium Wireless for $15 a month every time. No points for salary, right? Let's be honest. Premium Wireless for $15 a month, am I right? Let's just stop having AI write these, okay, guys?
Baby.
It's time to win. Yamaha Resort and Casino in San Manuel is giving away a Reshark Meal Watch plus $15,000 cash in April. With 3 ways to secure a finalist spot, you could be the lucky winner of this luxury Swiss time piece on April 9th. Details at Yamaha.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Who was that?
That was my doctor at Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers is doctors now?
Whoa.
United States of Scandal with Jay Tapper returns Sunday, March 9th on CNN.
Just beginning in New York, and tonight Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is looking to Europe to help defending his country against Russia. The Ukrainian leader receiving a much friendlier reception from British Prime Minister Keir Starmer in Downing Street today, just a day after Zelensky's explosive meeting in the Oval Office Friday afternoon.
You're very, very welcome here in Downing Street. And we've had cheers on the street outside. You have full backing across the United Kingdom.
Today, the UK announces plans to speed up a $2.8 billion loan for Ukraine, just 24 hours after President Trump abruptly ended his meeting with Zelensky at the White House. CNN international diplomatic editor Nick Robertson is live in London with more details. Nick, we look ahead to these next few hours, the next day. How critical are these for President Zelensky?
They're very critical. I think what we got in London today from Keir Starmer was a good bounce coming out of that fractious meeting at the White House. It kind of got him back on his feet, if you will. Not that he needed much of it, because he's been pretty clear about what his narrative is, about what he believes. But as he said, this was a warm and significant meeting. It was a meeting where he was happy to be able to have it with a partner who shared Ukraine's vision for the future. You're looking at the hug there. This is not something that Prime Minister Keir Starmer does very often. And that was it. This was demonstrated to the cameras there that this was a different type of meeting, different environment, different engagement. And the meeting tomorrow with the European leaders who are coming, and there's more than a dozen of them coming. Germans will be there, the French, the Italians, Norwegians, the Swedish, the Finns, a whole host of leaders coming, as well as the NATO Secretary.
I'll sit tight here.
Audience. And the NATO Secretary General, for example, said, look, Zelensky, you need to kind of remake that relationship with senior figures within the White House. So there will be an undercurrent to that narrative. But the reality here, and this is what Starmer is talking about in advance of the meeting, is there are immediate needs. Right now these leaders need to make sure that military and economic support going to Ukraine is maintained, irrespective of what happens from the United States. That there is, in the future, security guarantees, that there is a process to a realistic and lasting peace that can be put in place. So that'll be the focus. But I think that what we'll be looking for, the outcome is, what is the outreach then back towards the White House? Is it a collective thing for these European leaders? Is it what the Italian Prime Minister has suggested she wants, which is a summit, a quick and soon summit with President Trump and European Union leaders? Will that be a narrative that emerges? But for Zelensky, he feels that he is in a much better and safer environment here in the UK than in the US, because he feels he's got commonality of vision on Ukraine's future that he doesn't get out of the White House at the moment. So he's going to want to build on that. But he really needs to build that bridge with the United States, and that's what we're looking for tomorrow.
Yeah, can that happen? All right, Nick Robertson, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And joining us now is Kurt Goldberg, former U.S. ambassador to NATO and former U.S. representative for Ukraine negotiations. Thank you so much for being here, the perfect person to talk about all of this with. I think we just, jumping off where Nick left off there, jumping back in, is Ukraine's future now in the hands of European leaders? Has the U.S. effectively ceded that?
How do you want to do this?
No, I don't think so, and I don't think anyone should be thinking of it that way. We had a very unfortunate meeting at the White House on Friday. I am glad to see European leaders show support for President Zelensky, and I thought Nick made a lot of really good points, including what Starmer was saying about immediate needs. We do have to focus on what's immediate in terms of helping Ukraine and what Europeans can do. But we have got to get this back to the U.S. and Europe and Ukraine all being on the same page and finding a way to convince Putin to stop the war. And that's where President Trump was trying to drive this. It's been disrupted for a bit now, but I hope that together, when they're meeting behind closed doors, this is one of the main topics of conversation, how to get Ukraine and the United States and Europe all back on the same page.
And are you confident that can happen?
I think so. I think President Trump, on his way to Marine One, when he was giving that impromptu press conference, kind of laid out what he needs to hear from Zelensky. He needs to hear a commitment from Zelensky that he truly wants peace and that he's prepared to accept a ceasefire. And what I think President Zelensky needs to do is turn around the way he's talked about this. He said he can't have a ceasefire without security guarantees. Turn that around so he's ready for a ceasefire immediately. But Putin has got to have a ceasefire as well, and we have to make sure that it lasts, that he doesn't attack again. And that's going to require a lot of work going forward. I think that's roughly where President Trump is thinking, but the way things went Friday, there's a lot of getting issues to be done now.
Yeah, and so how do you do that? How do you begin to repair that relationship?
Well, I think, first off, I think there does need to be some kind of recognition from President Zelensky that the meeting went very badly. We should not have carried on as the Vice President and the President in front of the cameras. This was meant to be a positive day, aligning U.S. and Ukrainians' interests, economic interests, but then more broadly, a shared strategic partnership going forward, and that he wants to get back to that. And then secondly, to say that he is ready for peace and a ceasefire, and he wants to do that with the United States.
And so what do you see happening now? Now Zelensky is in Europe trying to, bolster his support there, as we were just walking through. Trump has laid out, as you know, what he needs to hear from them. What about the Russia of it all? What happens with Russia right now?
Well, Russia's sitting pretty right now. We are delighted that this meeting in the Oval Office blew up. They were probably rather concerned to see U.S. and Ukrainian interests aligned around this minerals deal, and the fact that that has been put on ice now makes them very, very happy. So they're not going to do anything. They're going to keep up the attacks overnight on Kyiv and other major cities, attacks on the front line, because they want to project a position of strength. I think this is why some are trying to focus on immediate needs, shoring up Ukraine's energy sector. The U.S. is cutting off some USAID assistance there, shoring up Ukraine's ammunition supplies and the political support as well. But we've got to get Ukraine and the U.S. back working together towards a common outcome with our European allies. That may take a week or so, but I think we have to stay focused on that even while we deal with immediate needs and Russia's continued attacks.
Do you think that the Trump administration has held Russia, and President Trump himself has held Russia properly accountable here?
No, I don't think that that's been President Trump's objective at this stage. As he said in that Oval Office meeting, he doesn't want to be calling out President Putin and accusing him of all the things that he's done because he wants to get him to the table. He has threatened pressure on Russia, sanctions, tariffs, taxes, and this minerals deal would have created a pathway for sustainable U.S. military support to Ukraine, which is very important to show Putin that this is sustainable. So I think he's been trying to avoid demonizing Putin personally while putting in place some of these building blocks. Again, this is now in pieces on the floor. We've got to try to pick it up.
And what is the future for NATO here, as a former ambassador in NATO? What do you think the future is?
I think the future is strong for NATO. I think Mark Rutte has been doing a great job in these recent days messaging about what needs to happen, what Zelensky needs to do, what the interests of all the NATO allies are. I see European allies spending more on defense, well beyond the 2%. That's the current target. I think that's important for NATO. It's important to sustain U.S. support. I think the collective defense commitment has proven itself over these past 3 years. Russia has not attacked any NATO countries. I think we have to maintain that. And then I think we have to have an interim period where Ukraine is a secure, sovereign, independent state, and there's a ceasefire with Russia, things have stabilized, and then we work towards permanent security commitments for Ukraine, which could include NATO membership in the future.
But do you think that those fellow NATO members, those other NATO countries, do you think that there has been a break in trust with the United States at this point?
I think they're very, very frustrated with President Trump. They don't like the way he messages, what he communicates, policies that he's put in place. Going back to the Munich Security Conference and Vice President Vance's messages, or this meeting in the Oval Office now, they don't like it. But interests are interests. And I would just say the U.S. and Ukraine have a shared interest, including around this minerals and resources deal. The United States and Europe have a shared interest in containing Vladimir Putin and his efforts to rewrite borders in Europe. So we approach it differently. There's a lot of emotions in the air right now, but we've got to focus on what our interests are and getting common outcomes together.
All right, Kurt Volker, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Breaking news tonight, Israel says it has agreed to extend its ceasefire deal with Hamas. That deal paused fighting in Gaza for weeks as dozens of Israeli hostages and then hundreds of Palestinian prisoners were released. Among the hostages freed, Israeli-American Segi Dekel-Chen, the Israeli Prime Minister's office saying the U.S. made the proposal for that extension. It will extend the current ceasefire, which would have expired tonight through the end of March, including the Muslim holy month of Ramadan and the Jewish holiday of Passover. The agreement would also see more hostage releases. The Israeli Prime Minister's office says Hamas has not signed off on that proposal just yet.
New information about the death of Hollywood actor Gene Hackman and his wife. Just how long were they dead before a caretaker found them? We're going to talk more about this when we come back here in the CNN newsroom.
Have I got news for you? It's back. Let's think of some new games to play. What do you got?
Yes, something like,
what? Is it, you're playing the same game? Is it a game?
Have I got news for you? Tonight at 9 on CNN.
You make good choices. They shape your journey. To leave all that your life built rock solid for generations. With ambition like that, you need someone who elevates advice to a craft. At UDX, we match your vision with insight and expertise to shape a unique outcome for you. Advice is our craft.
Are you one of the millions of Americans who suffer from an upset stomach after a big meal? Try Pepto-Bismol. Unlike some products, Pepto coats and soothes your digestive system to provide fast 5-symptom relief. Stock up on Pepto today.
When my hair started thinning, I didn't want to hear the wisecracks.
I was ignoring my hair because I was a full-time working mother, but luckily I found Nutrafol.
My hair was getting stronger and thicker.
I finally feel like myself again.
Guys, reach peak performance through Rogue. With access to prescription medications uniquely designed to suit your needs. We got you. Connect with a provider at rogue.co/peak.
Ever since they got DirecTV, they don't miss a game. Not the opening pitch, not even the pregame flyover. Bobby Hawk. It's baseball season in America, baby. You know those geese are Canadian, right?
We got baseball here, too.
I decided to go with Rover GLP-1s because dealing with insurance is always sort of nerve-wracking. Having the team at Roe help me navigate the insurance was huge relief.
To see if you qualify, go to rogue.co/TV.
I'm Bobby Brown, and I started Jones Road because I wasn't done. Jones Road is a modern approach to my beauty philosophy. Clean, good-for-you products that are versatile and easy to use. Learn more at jonesroadbeauty.com.
You go to Sandals to get really, really close to the Caribbean.
Do this every morning.
Don't let that pain turn your whole day into a constant struggle. Take action with Domes. Even relief to get you back to your day. Domes, maximum strength and back pain relief. Trusted for over 100 years to get you back to doing what you love. Congratulations, here's the keys.
Congratulations, here's the water heater with some half-assed inspection, but we'll definitely flood the basement.
Congratulations. First new supplier of nitrogen fertilizer. Remember, not too little or too much or you'll kill your lawn.
Okay, congratulations. Here's Progressive's Home Code Explorer. You're good. You can quickly compare insurance options and find the right coverage even if it's not with us. What's the bad news? I skipped the line.
You might know Harbor Freight for affordability. What you might not know is performance and durability go right along with it. You see, we test, and then we test again. World-class engineering and rigorous testing to ensure our tools perform at the highest level and stand the test of time without testing at all. Now, it's time for you to put us to the test. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
When I started Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I had no idea what I was doing. But GoDaddy Aero does, using AI to build a logo, website, and social content. So I can let the world know. See, goggles ain't goggles. They don't belong under noggins.
Before you go to extremes to fix sagging and wrinkles with expensive injections, try this Olay Regenerist. Olay boosts skin cell regeneration to firm, lift, and reshape volume without painful prices. For me, it's only Olay.
United States of Scandal with Jay Tapper returns Sunday, March 9th on CNN.
Family and friends mourn the mysterious deaths of Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. Discovered in the New Mexico home Wednesday, days before the 97th Academy Awards. Investigators say Hackman's pacemaker showed he died 9 days before being found, and that his wife's hands and feet showed signs of mummification. But officials say they do not suspect foul play. This is they await more in-depth toxicology and autopsy reports. CNN's Julia Vargas Jones is doing us live from Santa Fe. And Julia, we know that investigators also took a lot of items outside of the home. What more can you tell us?
Well, aside from both of their cell phones, or two devices that were found in the home, Jessica, they also found medication. There was Tylenol, just regular over-the-counter Tylenol, and thyroid and blood pressure medication that was taken, as well as medical records that were found in the home. Both Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were in different parts of the home. That's according to this search warrant, where the deputies actually described quite in a lot of detail what they saw when they entered the home. And Ms. Arakawa was in a bathroom. There was a space heater on the floor next to her, as well as pills scattered around the bathroom counter. And Mr. Hackman was in this mudroom off the kitchen with a cane and sunglasses on the floor next to him. Now, that's curious because authorities have also already ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning in their death. So as they don't see any signs of trauma to the bodies, no sign of foul play, it really remains a mystery to figure out what is it that took place in that home that could lead these two people to their deaths. And there is another point here that I want to make, Jessica, that is they aren't ruling out completely foul play. It is an ongoing investigation, and the sheriff is pointing to that toxicology report as probably what will give answers in the investigation.
And Julia, do we know how long it'll take to get that information back, that toxicology report?
It could take as little as 3 weeks, as long as 3 months, they warned us. But it will be important because since there are no external factors here, Jessica, it is what they're looking at. Look, there's another added challenge to this, which is piecing together the timeline of a couple that was very private and that lived in this secluded home here in Santa Fe.
Extra raw for 10 damage.
They didn't have any recording devices in their home, so it's hard to piece that together. You know, we know when Gene Hackman died now, thanks to that pacemaker data that came out on Friday, but we still don't know how long his wife might have been there. You know, we talked about signs of mummification on her body. Of course, authorities say that it could be longer. It could happen depending on weather conditions, climate conditions, how dry a house was. It could have happened at the same time, could have happened days apart even. So that toxicology report and the full autopsy will be key here, the sheriff says, to find out what is it that took place that led them to their deaths.
All right, Julia Vargas Jones there in Santa Fe with the latest. Thank you for that reporting. Some federal workers are about to have a new task to start each week. We'll tell you what it is. You're listening to Newsroom.
The presidential address to Congress, Tuesday at 8 on CNN. Stanley Steamer is proud to be the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses every year using powerful equipment custom built by us. It's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Kids, I'm sure you're wondering why your mother and I asked you here tonight. It's because it's a buffet of all-you-can-eat butterfly shrimp and sirloin steak.
Yeah, that's the reason. I don't get it.
Do you have any idea how much this would cost at other restaurants?
Not really, only 6.
A lot, honey. Thank you. Yeah.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like life was moving on without me. And I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilida. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilida is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Capilida can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Capilida is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
If you're looking for the one, find the home with a short commute to work. Find the one in a great school district. And find it exclusively in professionally sourced listings. Download the Realtor.com app today.
Can a personal loan unlock your ambitions? Oh yeah. Take a swing at your kitchen loan. Meant that literally. Sell-5 personal loans. Low fixed rates. Borrow up to $100K. No fees required.
Okay, everybody. Let's lunch.
also fight Ray Dow, bro.
As I said, you know, it's very little good to stand up to him on almost any
Ray Dowsies.
Lisa Murkowski and
Love my dog.
other colleagues, they started master for national security advisor, tweeting something similar in a way making the contrast with violence so loud. Trump has a great effort on the Republican Party. He has overwhelming support among Republican voters. Republicans in Congress are afraid to cross him, but there is evidence already.
See you later.
That kind of Trump on down may be more than many Americans signed up for. A lot of polls with the approval rate falling. What we talked about is approval rate net negative, particularly in polls among 10 to 20 points, which is unusual. But most importantly, I think you're seeing with confidence surveys, conference report and the University of Michigan, a lot of concern in the public about inflation. Supporters of Americans in the CBS poll last week said that their income was not up with prices. That is the problem Trump was elected to solve above all. A lot of other things going on. Elon Musk's storyline kind of overshadowed everything else in the presidency. But I think the risk for him is that voters feel that they're losing sight of the election and focusing on other things, including passing tax cuts that, enrich his already rich buddies while cutting programs that divert them. Half of the House is moving forward.
You keeping stoked?
How long will people, go with the chaos and feel comfortable with it? And another question too. Ron Brown, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Bigger shots like on what you want. You get a lot more starting to see everything.
That's great. Can you imagine the whole thing? No one could possibly have understood where it was going. Twitter, the bird, premieres March 9th on CNN.
Sadly, windshield chips turned into windshield cracks. But at least go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes. SafeLight can come to you for free, and our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
SafeLight, SafeLight.
Don't wait. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule now.
SafeLight repair, SafeLight repair.
What you think we'll find?
Not supportive of Russians versus progressive is same with a commercial auto quote online, so you can back the points.
Well, hey. What are we making today? Subar?
A lot of thunder.
Tablet list for a stun stabilization 75 from custom lighting under $50. It's a vintage jacket under for affordable pieces that help you make a fresh start.
I like Tyrant Black. No, wait, actually I don't know what it is. Get up, sit.
Preventing is more important. In a survey, 91% wish it started. So why? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away. Trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include physical reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor the other. Muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicine for toxins may lead to some serious side effects.
Chronic migraine makes the pain. Ask your doctor about Botox today. Learn how apps help you save.
Buying cars, kind of a big deal. All she knows, Conquerors is most new used cars by your name. You know the big that's Conquerors, #1 most visited car shops.
Walt won't explore what you tell me over IRA. Nicely. I'm for two words. Hey, Santa! Get it. The little rat.
You know where to find me. Hey, we've been researching the ruins of the Ice Shard House, based on that tip from Rove, but to cut to the chase, a Blanganga decided the survey team was invading its turf and attacked. We'd been taking pains not to draw any monsters' attention, but sadly, I see. Not too serious, thankfully.
All right.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm worried about the team there, but I also want to help out my handler. Let me take care of this for you.
Right! Thank you very much.
Time to make ourselves useful.
Don't make that.
Go right on ahead.
Nice.
Want me to get anything?
Nice, chilling.
I'll round up what I can. Check back later,
Get him, man, get him. Oh, here's the guy.
Ah, Hunter. I'm so glad you're here. Lately, the Vanguard's desert patrols have been attacked by a sand leviathan, unlike any they've ever seen.
It may have felt you were encroaching on its territory. Have you heard what was different?
It was larger in size. I also heard that it looked like it was covered in old scars.
I see. From those characteristics, it sounds like we're dealing with a tempered monster.
A tempered monster?
One that's weathered countless battles over the years and grown more powerful. And more dangerous. If the patrols have attracted one's attention, they'll be at risk as long as it remains here. Better to remove that threat before someone gets seriously hurt. Will you leave this to the guild?
Of course.
The guild researchers sent to investigate Isai's report confirmed your theory. They cited a tempered Valahara in the desert. It's certain to affect the greater region. Hunt authorization has come down from the guild. Please take care of it as soon as you're ready.
Okay, let's move out.
I know where he is. Talk to Rex. Oh, he was right there. He was right there the whole time.
Hunter, a humble request for your assistance. We've received word of a Jarrakan rampaging through the Wounded Hollow. It is a matter I would gladly resolve myself, but my other responsibilities have not allowed it. We have already asked so much of you, but I would...
Understood.
Hearing that, I know the deed is as good as done.
Okay, let's move out! I'll ride with you.
I gotta pee. I gotta pee.